YouTube streets. And whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, I want to welcome you. It's a beautiful day here in Miami, Florida. First and foremost, let me just say welcome. This is a live stream. So if you're watching either live or if you're watching the replay, I want to welcome you. I'm SuzetteSpeaks. I enjoy coming to you 3 to 4 times a week, asking interesting questions about current events, politics, and now about relationships. And today's topic is one that me and my guest sat back a little bit when we were trying to figure out how we were going to collaborate. We walked kind of down this path by instinct because there's so much relationship talk right now on social media. And one of the common themes we heard, both from his perspective as a man and my perspective as a single woman, is whether or not people still want to get married. Do you want to get married? I want to know. As a woman, as a single woman, I still have hope. Praise God, that I could attain, this elusive dream. And when my guest comes on, I'm going to bring him on shortly. I want him to kind of lay the foundation, talk about some of the numbers that are out there. So we're all kind of thinking about the topic from, a mutual vantage point. And that is marriage dead? Do you still want to get married? Do you think having a traditional marriage is still plausible? Is it possible that you could have kind of, I guess, if you grew up with a two-parent home, if you had the luxury of growing up in a two-parent home that was healthy and loving, do you think you can replicate that type of marriage nowadays? Do you think people want that kind of marriage? Do men still want to be married? That's my question. I can't wait to bring my guest up. He, again, is not going to represent all men. He wants you to know, he's new to the YouTube game. I hope you guys will go check out his channel, but he's a deep thinker like myself. He's been on my panel before, and I'm so glad he reached out and he was like, yo, you want to collab? I was like, what are we going to talk about? And this was one of the first topics that he suggested, and I couldn't, be more excited. Although, again, as a non-expert in this field, marriage and relationships, it is for us to have a healthy dialogue. That's what my goal is today. So if you want to chime in, I'm going to drop the link from early as I bring my guests on now. But I want to ask the question, are too many of us waiting for the perfect mate? And as I said in the description, or does the perfect mate not exist, y'all? Some people have told me, both from the male and female perspective, what you talking about, Sue? What you talking about? There is no such thing as a perfect mate. These folks out here slow. These folks out here fast. These folks out here, want to get with me before they even know my last name. What's up? There are others of you that are so genuine in your response from the time that I came about in terms of my interview with TLA and how I came about kind of being a part of this discussion. You were so genuine in your responses, like, girl, keep your head up, girl. I felt like I drew all the sympathy in the world. Thank you. But it was so interesting, the responses from both men and women. Encouraging me, talking to me about their experiences, wanting to share how distressed and uncomfortable and difficult it was for them to find that special someone as well. Now, I want to believe in my heart of hearts, like, let me answer the question first. And y'all come on in, hit the like button. Welcome. This is the Suzette Speaks show, simulcasting today on YouTube as well as on my Facebook pages. Welcome. If you're watching on Facebook, I can't see all your comments, but go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching on YouTube, you know what to do. Please hit the like button. We're going to have an easy breezy, free flowing, there we go, conversation about whether marriage is dead, and if marriage is dead, who or what killed it. We're doing a little autopsy. Y'all with me? Y'all hit the like button as you come in, please. I have a special guest. We're going to do a little Venus and Mars, little yin and yang. He's going to bring the male energy that I so-called will not understand. Let me just put it like that. Even in my next show, let me clarify what I mean. In my next show, I'm doing a red pill topic, and it's because my guest is called Red Pill Hustle. Y'all was already, when I put the survey out on the community tab, what you know about red pill, y'all better get her. And I was like, Wow, I just wanted to explore the topic. So, is it okay if I explore this topic today? I hope it's all right with y'all. Hit the like button as you come in because I don't understand things from a male perspective because, duh, I'm a woman. So, I'm grateful that I have someone here with me today to do some of the heavy lifting from the male perspective as to what men think. And again, I'm going to drop the link. He's not going to speak for every man ever. In our community, in our society that ever lived, that kind of thing, but he has some thoughtful opinions and he's done some research. And I want to bring him on actually to kind of set the tone as to what the statistics say and where we are as a whole, as well as specifically in the Black community, who is doing what to who and when and why as it relates to marriage. So, my guest today is Mr. DL Saint. I'm going to read a couple of the comments and I'm going to bring him up. I want to welcome you. Thanks for watching, y'all. I see so many of you have joined. Go ahead and hit the like button. Again, this is the SuzetteSpeaks show, which is a live stream on YouTube 3 to 4 times a week. I have been coming on later and later. Today is a 7 p.m. Eastern stream. Saturday, I'll be streaming at 12 noon. Red Pill Hustle will be my guest. Should men be red pill? Should they be a part of the red pill community? That will be me on Saturday, learning and listening. Hello, not telling y'all to be, but listening. If you interview a man named Red Pill Hustle, guess what you're going to have to talk about? The red pill community, y'all. Come on now. Y'all mad. Y'all was mad already. And when I asked the question, does the red pill mentality serve men? Is it good for men? And I think it was quite spread. I put 4 choices on the survey on my YouTube page, and I said, yes, it does. It's really beneficial. Yes, the good outweighs the bad. No, it's not beneficial to men, or no, it's not beneficial to men or the community as a whole. And y'all had so much to say. I can't wait for that conversation on Saturday. As well as on Sunday, I have a special guest who's bringing up some sisters who are going to talk about, okay, I'm not even ready for this conversation, but it's called Menopause Makeover, the myths and the madness. Y'all ain't ready for this. We doing it for all ages, all stages. My guest on Sunday at 3 will be talking about her journey through menopause. I know it's like the M word, y'all. I'm like, oh my God. But women, all of us at one stage or another gonna get there, right? And she's gonna be talking about her makeover and the myths and the magic. Menopause. So I can't wait. So this will be a heavy, what should I say, discussion when it comes to kind of pulling back the curtain on menopause on Sunday. So I'm getting it in, y'all. End of the week here, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, you will see me live. But tonight we are going to be talking about the subject matter you see on the screen. Come on through, y'all. I see so many more of you have joined. Welcome. Again, Suzette Speaks here. I am coming to you live from the sunny city of Miami, Florida. I'm a TV host and attorney and now turned YouTuber that just likes the public square of it all. No, I don't like the mayhem. I don't like the madness. I just like the public square where you can talk to people. They can talk back to you about ideas and you can share kind of, what we used to share kind of, by the water cooler when people, worked, I guess, like normal people in an office. Now we don't even have that. But I like, the congregational feel of this. I like when people get to, speak up, speak out, and kind of put themselves out there, put their opinions out there to be evaluated. And I want to keep this as respectful and as civil as possible. My moderators, I didn't even get to the chat yet. My moderators in the building will help me do that. But yeah, we ain't gonna have all the answers, guys. This is going to be, again, a chat, a discussion, right? This is an open forum. You're free to have your ideas. And we're going to talk about a man and a woman today in the heteronormative sense of marriage. Because again, there is a problem. Houston, we have a problem, right? Within specifically our Black communities when it comes to marriage, staying married. But I'm just talking about getting married. We don't talk about staying married. That's another whole discussion. Please hit the like button as you come in. My special guest is none other than Mr. DL Saint. For those who want to contribute to the cause, thank y'all so much. There's a Cash App. Y'all always ask me for it. Thank you for super chatting, always supporting my content, y'all. I appreciate all of you guys who are a part also of my Patreon. My Patreon has grown. I'm thankful to all of you. Woo! Thank you to my Patreon fam. You guys hold me down all the time, sending me ideas, sending me articles, encouraging me. And like I said, Red Pill Hustle, who will be my guest on Saturday, talking about should men join the Red Pill community. Hello, on Saturday at 12. He's a part of my Patreon. So there's perks and benefits. We have special conversations that are separate, not on YouTube. So you can become a member here on YouTube, or you can join through patreon.com/SuzetteSpeaks. Y'all ready to talk about marriage? You seem to like when I do the relationship shows. That's what y'all say. Let me check the chat. Let's see who's in the building. Drop a comment. Let me know you're watching. DL Saint is waiting. Oh, DL Saint, you give it awesome. Now look, you gonna guess and you gonna super chat. Now come on now. That's a double dip. You already blessed me with your presence. Thank you, DL Saint. He's saying hello in the most generous way. Thank you for the super chat, sir. And I appreciate you coming on, sharing your insights and knowledge when it comes to marriage, right? It's a lot to talk about. There's so much we need to do in the Black community, specifically when it comes to healing and unity. And hopefully this space, the SuzetteSpeaks show space, will be a platform to allow us to communicate in a way that is healthy and progressive, right? That moves the ball forward, helps us understand each other a little bit more, because this is not an easy topic. This is one that oftentimes makes people feel very, very uncomfortable. There's a lot of triggering that may happen, especially if you're not married. When we talk about different causes of marriage, what we say, DL? We said marriageless Americans. I think that's the way we put it. Different causes for marriageless Americans, right? It's not to blame. It's not to say, something is wrong. We're just talking about the community's shortcomings as a whole, right? And if parts of it fit you, let's address it, right? But we don't want to get stuck on, it's all women's fault. It's all men's fault. It's all this. We don't move like that here. We try to be nuanced. So I want to welcome you. I'm glad to see you. Peace, inspired one. Nice to see you. Some reason to build in Gaston's world already. It's over for me, Gaston. That's how you really feel. I knew there was going to be many of you who agree with Mr. Gaston's world. Good to see you, my brother. It is. Listen, it's difficult out here. It's very difficult out here. And I'm not saying you're wrong. We're just going to take a look at what killed it, if it's gone. All right. Joss Wizman. Nice to see you. Look beautiful. Oh, thank you. I'm happy I saw you on TLA. Oh, thank you. That video sometimes goes up and down. It's so funny. It has like resurgence. I forget about it being in existence. I don't know. It must have popped up on a bunch of y'all feeds, because I'll get like a slew of inbox messages. Then I was like, dang, I forgot the video was up there. And they're still talking about it like it's fresh. It's kind of cool. Like I said, this space allows you to live into perpetuity. I don't know if that's good or bad. But yeah, shout out to those who just saw the video and just wrote me. I'm happy to, make your acquaintance and to connect with all of you. Keep up, one of my Patreon members. How are you, sir? Says marriage is dead. That's a lot of mercy. We don't even have no hope. Is that what we're going to? Is that y'all? Wow. California in the building, says Sunbreeze. Again, facts. Marriage is dead. Is that how you guys really feel? Let me see if that's just the early commentary. Marriage is dead. Yes, we're going to open up with DL Saint just here, waiting in the wings. He has some stats he wants to share, and I think it'll be a great way to set the tone. We're going to drop the link. Y'all can come up. Let us know what you're thinking about whether marriage is dead. Do y'all still want to get married? I'm going to ask it kind of, rudimentarily, but do men still want to be married? And do women still want to be married in your estimation? And what evidence, my attorney hat, and what evidence do you have to support your point? That's what I'm like. Let's paint the picture, but let's go into why you feel the way you do. And I'm glad you're sharing. The chat is bustling, 60 comments already. Mr. Untouchable says traditional marriage is on life support. Oh, wow. Feminism. Ooh, that word, feminism. I'd love to hear how you define it. And toxic masculinity. Okay, so you got even-handed, enough to go around. Feminism and toxic masculinity, says Mr. Untouchable. Almost beat the life out of it. Ooh, wee. All right. Set the tone for me, please. Let me see who else we got. TTO. Nice to see you. Says most of these man groups are men babies. This one, that's strong words. They cry because they can't get them. Oh, anyway. All right. Shots fired. Okay, TTO. Tell us how you really feel. Okay, I see you, Miss AKA lady. Can't wait to see you. How you doing, my love? She will be one of the guests at my brunch. Shout out to my Patreon member. Good. I can't wait to see you. Doug, what up? Also a member of my Patreon. No Fault Divorce. Ooh, y'all remember this? It was hard to get a divorce at one point in American history. And I'm talking about a Western take, guys. Western meaning, United States, Canada, Caribbean. No fault divorce, kill marriage. Let me just marinate on that. And I think we will touch on that. And I'd love to, if you want to come up, let me know. Thank you, Doug, for the generosity. Thank you so much for the super chat. Awesome. Let me read. Red Pill Hustle, the man of the hour, will be with me. Yo, they beating me up already talking about really, you need to know what red pill is. What you all... I just asked a survey question. That's all I asked. I wanted to see what the people had to say with the survey, red pill. You're going to get me in trouble. You better have my back Saturday because I will be listening. I will be learning. Y'all think I came up here to tell people to be in what community? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Thank you. Red Pill Hustle will be helping me understand the Red Pill community and what are the benefits, what are the drawbacks, how's it serving men and women or not. All right, we're going to ask the question. I hope we're okay to have discussions here, whether you agree with me or not. But big up to, again, Patreon member and will be my special guest Saturday, 12 noon. Shout out to Miami, says Mr. Untouchable 305 in the building. Inspire One adds, children thrive better in a committed two-person relationship. Y'all, there was a time people was just committed to the idea we are not leaving this. Now, for good or for bad, now, some people would have had stressful households. We're not going to say everybody's household was, Disneyland, right? But I will agree with you on that commitment piece. There was a commitment at one time. You messed up, hubby messed up, right? Acting crazy, acting wild. There was a constant within both of you that no matter what, we're not leaving this. Right. And I'm not saying that should apply to every single person, every single circumstance. But that attitude right there, I think held it together a lot. Hello. We ain't long show. Hello, Doug. Let me do my show, bro. Let me do. I want to just welcome everybody. Can I please just welcome the people? I haven't seen the people in a while. They like, Sue, where you been all week? I was tired. I was going to do the Supreme Court hearings. But I had so much stress on my head due to the hearings. I had so much stress on my head. I didn't want to, hey, this is how I'm doing. Thanks for asking, some breeze. I had so much stress on my head with my fellow Americans asking some disingenuous questions of the Honorable Ketanji Brown Jackson. I said, if I do a show on this, I might go off. I honestly said that. I said, if I do a show with how I feel after listening to some of the line of questioning, do you know this woman's judicial record is in line in terms of so-called leniency when it comes to certain predators with the majority of how judges were sentencing people. People are being sentenced under the mandatories for the majority of judges, many of whom have already been confirmed for the Supreme Court. How about that? But you're making the American people feel as if she is somehow lenient and letting go people in the streets. Are you kidding me? I got to get off of that real quick, DL. It had me so hot watching it. Thank you for Senator Cory Booker resetting the tone of that hearing. They ain't stealing my joy tonight. Let me move on. Inspire One. Thank you. I could not do a Ketanji Brown Jackson show. I could not do it because I would be very upset sitting here. And I don't want to bring that kind of energy on YouTube. I watched almost all, probably minus of the 19 hours, I probably watched 15 of the hours. Kept the TV on the whole time in my office. Then I changed my mood, DL. I gotta move back into my. What's up? I gotta move on. Then I had my girl on the hot seat, like my girl. She have more record than anybody sitting on the Supreme Court right now. More pedigree than the people asking her the questions. Okay, all right. Sorry, reset. Okay, children thrive better. Thank you. You see why I couldn't do a show on her? I know y'all was like, "Was she gonna do a show?" I couldn't even do the show. I might have to do it a little bit later when she's actually confirmed, because the way I thought it was handled. All right. Oh, thank you. Is that a euro? Thank you. Oh, I remember you from Ireland by way of Nigeria. Is it? Thank you. Good to see you again. Thank you so much for your generosity. Nice to see you. Harmony Pill in the building. Getting a little, I'm going to bring it back. Sorry. Get a little distracted on everything that was happening in our country. Hello, hello. Let me move up. Hey, XDMC in the building. How you doing? The Harmony Bill say marriage ain't alive in Atlanta. I don't know what they do. So tell me about it where you guys are. Let me see. TTOO says, don't trust the so-called red pill groups. Hopefully it is the positive you listen. I don't know what they're gonna be like on Saturday, but I'm brave. I'm brave. I mean, again, his name is Red Pill Hustle. What we gonna talk about, right? What we gonna talk about? So that's Saturday. Sunday, we coming through with the show about the mysteries and magic of menopause. Yes. I always ask my guests, what are they going through and what they want to talk about. Sunday at 3. Ooh, makeover, menopause makeover. Yeah. I ask my guests what they are into, what they want to talk about. And my guest on Sunday is a more mature woman, still living with vitality. Amen. Still living. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, the party don't stop. All right, let's keep it moving. Yes, DL saying, hey, he's looking at me like I thought I was supposed to be. He's coming with whiskey earned. I like the name. Oi, Jesus. Red Pill Hustle says, SuzetteSpeaks, it's all our faults. All of us are, no. Y'all come on in. Hit the like button as we start our discussion. Is marriage dead? Ooh, Whiskey Earns said marriage is too great of a risk. Oh my gosh. Is it being painted that way or is it? We have a lot more information about marriage than our parents did. You guys notice? Our parents didn't have no information, no background check, nothing. They just got married. I like you, you like me, we married. Notice how much more information. I don't know if that helps us or hurts us. We have so much more information about the person that we're dating than they had about like that person, their whole family. Our parents had darn near no, I mean, they knew where they were from, et cetera, but they didn't know the person to the extent many of us just via social media know the person that we about to go on a date with. But the marriages lasted. It's kind of interesting. Miss AKA Lady says, I don't think marriage is dead, but I do think it's not for everybody. I think a lot of people aren't ready. They like the word, they want the ceremony, but for the life after, I don't know if there's enough preparation for that. XDMC in the house says, I don't know if marriage is dead or not. I'm thankful my marriage is still alive. Hallelujah. Going 32 years. See, you got it before like the whole, the Snapchat, Instagram, World Wide Web turned it on his head. Dating became crazy. Awesome. I can get what I want out of you without marriage. Okay. All right. We'll hear you. So you don't need the marriage. You get what you need. All right, brother. Let's go. Let me see who else we got. I see some new names. Jean-Philippe, nice to see you, brother. Says, I hope not. Oh, the chef, nice to see you. Let's go. Time and technology most certainly killed marriage. Okay, we're going to see what you got to say. I love it. TTO adds, marriage is not dead. Stop the lies, drama, and the hype. It destroys the culture. So marriage is not dead. All right. I love it. I love it. Reese from Philly, the Red Dragon says, red pill is whatever I say it is. Chumps don't get to make the rule. Okay, I'll be listening, guys. I will be listening on Saturday. Should men join the red pill community? My brother, my guest, my Patreon member will be Red Pill Hustle Saturday at 12. And I'm just going to be asking for knowledge, right? I'm not going to be offering. I'm not going to tell no man what to do with their life and how to do it and how to think. No. I'm going to be asking, so I will be educated on the red pill community. Actually, I think a lot of women need to be educated on the red pill community because I don't think we understand it very well. So I'm actually very much looking forward to Red Pill Hustle. Yeah. Oh Lord, here we go. And education. Educated women have less children. All right, we're going to talk about triggered. Okay, let's go. I'm the poster child. I'm the poster. Okay, I gotta accept that. But we're gonna ask about that. Thank you, Ota Chef, for putting that out there. The Harmony Pill, thank you for your generosity, says marriage ain't alive in the ATL. That's for sure. Shout out to you, fellow Caribbean gal. Okay, thank you. Love your channel as always. All round of applause. Thank you. The Harmony Pill for your support. Always see you in the chat. Showing love today. Thank you very much. Y'all already know. Senator Booker crushed the shenanigans that was going down. I know. Thank you. I had to stop. I couldn't even talk about it. That's why I was like, you know what? I can't do a show. I'm gonna go off on it. With love. Doug, thank you. 80% of divorce. Or you still, let me bring on DL because he did the research now. My guess is DL saying he has a brand new YouTube channel he has launched. He's been a guest up here before, reached out to me. I was like, yeah, let's collab, of course. He said, what about? I say, what topics you want? He was just like, are we waiting too long for Mr. and Mrs. Right? We could talk about it, put it in this discussion. And is marriage dead? And who killed it? Is traditional marriage dead? All right, and Doug adds, whoo, so she smashed another man. Why I gotta be her? Doug, here we go, shots fired. She smashed another man, take half, and get custody of the children. Marriage isn't a fair deal for men. No, this is, I'm in all seriousness. Let me be serious on this point. The way our family laws often govern, there are going to be people that feel, and I think it was Chantel Simone said, and I actually thought it was a very good idea. I can't wait till she does it. She's going to try to interview some divorcee men because this proposition right here is real. Yeah. Even I'm like I said, I'm in Florida, state to state, in the West. We haven't done a good job of seeing the father, by way of the law, that is, as an equal and an equally important partner in raising and caring for not just the money. Yeah, okay. We're going to get there, Doug. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you guys. Yes, please. Y'all, there's a lot of people in here. Hit the like button at least. Thank you very much, Harvey Pill. Geez. Y'all going back and forth in the chat. I don't need a man group to tell me about marriage. My elders and OGs already showed me the holy grail. I see you. Already that. Lord God. Okay. Red Pill Hustle, the man of the hour, will be my guest this Saturday, talking about men in the red pill community, and whether it's beneficial, good, bad, ugly. We're gonna talk about it. All right. What value? DL, I'm gonna probably throw this to you. Your first question, no, but we'll set the tone first. What value does marriage bring, in your opinion? It's supposed to be, to me, stability, unconditional love. Just knowing that someone, I think, has your back and you equally them. Someone to help guide or help make decisions. Again, child rearing is supposed to be a joy. Child rearing is supposed to be I think, a benefit together, right? Journey of life together, I think, is a benefit, right? Enjoying one another's company together. When you're trying to be scooped up off the market. We're gonna ask my guest. I'm gonna give it. Maybe is that blue pill? Roses and daisies and rainbows. That's what I just want to be loved, y'all. What you talking about? Is that too blue pill for y'all? I guess I might be blue pill. Lord God, that's how I feel though. Okay, y'all tell me. Answer that question. Oh, okay. Thank you again, Jawiz man. Okay, Doug is speaking facts. You're not going to take half my money to spend on some other men. Oh, y'all, I don't know. Maybe you've experienced this. There is no, wow, DL, there is no benefit for a man to get married. Wow. That's a deep sentiment. That's like, I'm going to drop the link. Ooh. Okay, my heart hurts. Oh my gosh, but we got to talk about it to get somewhere, y'all. Okay, thank you. The EVH Black Show in the building. Marriage ain't dead. Thank you. It's the people involved that's ruining it. Oh God. Healthy people. This is where we agree. Healthy people find it every day. This is true. I know a lot of people in healthy marriages. I have friends, like I brought on a couple of women last week, millennial marriage. Go back and watch the show. Shout out to the Clerge sisters. Young, both are, I think, well under 40 or even under 35, married, 2 kids each, good husbands, seemingly in a balanced, happy, healthy relationship, and own a firm together. We got some of them women now too. Let's see. Whiskey Earn says red pill men are fighting for traditional marriage. It's modern women who are fighting. Are we fighting against it? Are we fighting against? I don't know. Okay, the women might disagree, but I'm gonna hear you. I welcome all opinions. Thank you. Gail at night in the building. Nice to see you, sis. Big Bad Woo in the building. Thank you. Thank you so much. Glad you're here. Glad you could pass through. Miss Globe Girl, thank you for being here. I see people just say random things with no evidence. Can I get some facts? Yes. The generalizations are ridiculous and dangerous. We're going to start with some facts. I asked my guest, what he thought. He did his homework. First thing. I said, okay, I like a man that, let me back it up with a little reality, little evidence, we need that. Welcome to one and all. Hit the like button. Hey, the Miss Creative, nice to see you. No, 007. Let me ask you. So you asked. So if you can admit that men don't get a fair shake with kids and divorce, why are you asking the question? You answered it yourself, but does every man? I'm not going to answer. Let me get DL involved, because there's still. So I'm going to ask him, is there no benefit for men to get married? Because I know there's a unfair shake when it comes to divorce. So is there no benefit for a man to get married? I'm going to ask y'all. The men can speak for themselves, yeah? Okay. Yeah, I hear this. Traditional marriage recognizes the benefits of traditional gender roles. I see you. Hit that like button as we bring up my guest. Y'all ready for my guest? He been waiting. Miss AKA Lady adds, people talk about older marriages, but forget the fact that grandma and grandpa didn't believe that mental health, amen, was a thing. Some people lived under oppression. That's why we ended up kind of like, go get your degree, girl, so you don't have to be in this type of mess. I hear you. Now people want to be married and happy. Good point, Miss AKA Lady. I believe both are obtainable. I'm with you on that. Ooh, Miss Graves, I'm a girl doing a makeup tutorial. You're sweet. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much. Zhang, I hope I'm saying it right. Ganzu says, if ladies will require marriage before the deed, 90% of men. This was the old school model. Now y'all told me 90 days too long. Steve Harvey said 90 days. Sorry. This is the logic, but make sure you don't file for I think divorce is the problem. Thank you for that. Oh, hit me again. Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. Jazz Man says you're very kind. Thank you. That's like your third or fourth. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for supporting my content and my channel, and for that very sweet sentiment. I really appreciate it, my brother. No, okay. All right. Sis Doug say, quit it with the long stroke. Only because he's my Patreon member. We're going to get started. Let me bring up my special guest. You can unmute yourself, sir. He is, again, a content creator. I wanted him to talk a little bit about his history in comedy. I like, checking out people on their Instagram. Now I got to do research and figure out people. But he has something to say. Very thoughtful guy. Like what he's doing with his channel so far. Brand new to the space. Y'all show some love for the one and only Mr. DL Saint. How are you?
What's going on? How you doing? I don't know if you can hear that. You know what I'm saying? What's going on?
Thank you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know how we
I
get that.
love it. Sound effects and all. So welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Awesome. And, I want people to get to know you. Can you do a quick introduction of yourself and let them know why you started a YouTube channel?
I will. And it was Jazz Wiz, man, before I get started. Just know, bro, if you're going to get with Suzette and that accent come out, run. Run.
If I have to switch to patois.
If it comes out, run, ma. You better run, man. You know what I'm saying? Because she's going to be like, it's going down, man. I can hear it's going down. It's going to be like, yo, Godzilla, booga, buck, buck, buck. She'll be all up on you, bro.
It would be like, me tell you already.
Me tell you already, run. Run.
Okay, whatever you need, darling. But anyway, go ahead. Nice to have you.
Yo,
you are a funny guy. See, guys, I told you he's a comedian. So please tell us what you do and, what you do over here on YouTube.
Okay. What's up, y'all? I'm DL Saint. And I am a retired air traffic controller. I know it's hard to tell how old we are because we Black and we really don't crack, which is great. But yeah, retired Black guy, grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, didn't have a whole lot. I mean, we weren't struggling, but I didn't know any better. And had a pretty interesting life. One of my buddies from California the other day was like, hey, man, I'm learning more about you. And it's like, you and Forrest Gump are two of the most experienced people I ever met in my life. And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, Yeah, life is like a box of chocolates. You know what I mean? So I've done a little bit. So I retired a year ago. Moved from California to Tampa, Florida. I'm a single dad, and that's what I do. Like that is my primary mission in life right now. Is just taking care of my daughter. I have a 13-year-old daughter. She is my everything. So to your point with kids and marriage, yeah, kids are amazing. It'd be great to have mom, dad in the house, but we'll get to that. Um, and yeah, so I have a lot of time on my hands. I'm a stand-up comedian, so for about 15 years or so, I've been in that space. So I was an air traffic controller by day. In Hollywood, I would go and do stand up at night, and I loved it. It was a great balance to what I was doing. On the one hand, I'm dealing with some really serious stuff, hardcore. Like if you don't, people don't know a lot about air traffic controller. You normally see it. You're like, oh, you're the guy that's doing this. They say that, but people really know it. You have something to do with the airplanes in the sky, and yes, we deal with the aircraft in the sky, and the job of an air traffic controller is to prevent collisions. That's your job. Keep people from flying into each other or flying into mountains or whatever. It is stressful. You will hear about that, like, oh, it's the most stressful job. They ain't lying. Air traffic control is probably the most stressful job you can have outside of being a surgeon or something like that, and a soldier. I was a soldier once upon a time. You see that flag behind me. I was a paratrooper, United States Army. Highlight of my life, veteran of Desert Storm. So yeah, I've gone to war. And like I said, I'm from the streets, so I'm a hood vet too. So I did all that. Only difference is you don't get benefits from the hood vet stuff. You get benefits from the government though if you serve honorably. So yeah, and I just I'm like Suzette. I like the town hall feel. I want to bring people from all these different bubbles that I've touched in my travels to a place where we can kind of talk about things. Here's a guy that was, quote unquote in the hood. And then, I was in the military. I've done political stuff. I've worked on campaigns. I've rubbed elbows with billionaires. I've been with hood dudes. I've been with hitters. I've been with, nerds. I've been with tech guys. So I want to bring all that to one space and just have this open conversation about life and the way politics works in life. And that brings me here. And we're going to talk about one of the biggest things that's going on right now with relationships and marriageless Americans.
Yes, the marriageless Americans. Y'all
Right
hit
here
the
too. I
like
ain't never
button.
been married.
Oh, you
Never
never
been
been
married.
married? I didn't
Never been
know.
married.
I was gonna ask just to set the tone, so we all, both people know where we're coming from with our perspectives. But welcome, new people have joined, so hit the like button as you come in. Topic for tonight on the Suzette Speak Show is marriage dead, and if so, who killed it? We're getting kind of deep already. Want to know what the benefits are for men, for women. Again, the chat is always undefeated because they're gonna let me know how they feel. I will be dropping the link and hit the like button. So if you want more topics like this, first of all, DL, you are a super interesting guy. You have a lot of different experiences. Yeah, I just want to ask you about what you just said, but we're gonna stick on the topic, and you're more than welcome to come on back. The chat is saying thank you for your service, all that good stuff.
Welcome. You're
Dreadful
welcome.
Hustle ads, thank you for your service. Salute Knees Watches, nice to see you, and with the super chat, thank you for the love, appreciate. Nice. First of all, channel right in here to watch if you are into watches. I'm not there yet where I'm like sophisticated watch person.
Yeah,
But when I
Omega
do,
Speedmaster there needs watches. Omega Speed. You get that in your collection. You gotta have it.
okay, once you get there, you need to watch these watches because very fascinating, all the different levels and of timepieces and collectibles and all that. So thank you. No comment, just pure love. Thank you for supporting the stream today. Appreciate you being here in these watches. Yeah.
Yeah, watches are hard to get right now. Everyone, the 1% is putting their money into jewelry, high end jewelry, timepieces. So I have a friend in Switzerland, and I'm trying to get a Rolex. They're really hard to get.
Ooh.
So it's like I'm gonna have to go to Switzerland to get a Rolex. I'm like,
You're ordering your Rolex from overseas. Must be nice. Very good.
Hey, I mean, I ain't bragging. It took a long time to get here. It took a long time to get here. And guess what? I'll probably get pulled over on my way to the airport. So it don't really mean nothing to it. So it don't mean nothing to it.
Got my $50,000 Rolex, but thanks for pulling me over. Listen, We love our country anyway.
Yeah, that's another show.
Exactly. It's actually a dress. It's actually one of my favorite dresses. If I could stand up, I'm not going to stand up, but it's like a maxi dress, actually. Thank you. I think I got it from, you know how you have these women, Miami got a lot of them, women's stores that kind of fit my Latina population down here. They fit the curves just right. I get most of my stuff. I think this one was in, are you from down here? I can't, yes, I think you are down here. I had two Latino stores. I think they closed. I would love to go back and see if they're open now with the end of the pandemic, but this was from downtown Hollywood. Hollywood, Florida. Yeah, they got some good dresses for the curvy ladies. Just FYI. Yeah, let's go. No, man, y'all. It only benefits women. This is a thing. All right. So we're going to set the tone. Let's start with some stats. Let's talk about the problem. Cheap Apple Watch for me, says Chemo. Listen, they big time over here with these watches.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Oh, here you go. Deep pockets. Okay, sugar sad. The ladies paying attention like, oh, okay, that's what we do.
I'm looking for another Kelly Clarkson. I'm just letting y'all know. You talking about getting married. I want to get married to Kelly Clarkson money. So when it's over, I want $46,000 a month.
Kelly, they act like it's only the men that end up with this terrible kind of outcome sometimes of divorce. Kelly Clarkson, as he's saying, the famous, was she the original American Idol, I think?
Yeah, I think she was. Yeah, she Kelly was and Justin.
American Idol is paying her ex-husband, who they got divorced over the pandemic, $46,000 a month.
$46,500 a month, and she pays an additional $1,000 in alimony for like the next 16 months or something like that. So ask her if marriage works.
Okay?
Right? Ask Kelly.
Women of not women of means can end up with the short. Listen, I got a call yesterday, even though I don't practice divorce law, and I'm not going to offer any legal advice here. Yeah, this guy, he needs counsel in a divorce, but he was like the stay-at-home dad. I feel so bad. She had the means. So looking at, first of all, I could, you ever had you ever talk to a client, you already know that their pocket's probably shallow and they gonna want you to work for the free. My heart was I was like, where are we going with this? Where are we going? When you're listening and I'm like, where are we going with this? I was already going to refer it because I don't do divorce particularly. But yeah, I felt so bad for the guy. But he was in a different situation. The woman in his relationship for the last 8, 9, maybe 10 years, it sounded like, was the breadwinner. So it sounded like he did the stay-at-home dad duty. He wasn't loafing off of her in a sense. He was the caregiver, took care of them kids from how he described it. I was like, okay, so full-time dad was his contribution. The lady don't want none of that. I'll leave it like that. But yeah, it hurt me. But I already thought in my head, this is going to be very difficult for him because he was not working most of the marriage. So yeah, he has a difficult road ahead of him, but I referred him to a friend. Anyway, so DL, I'm going to have you break it down. Let me hear some of these statistics. I know you are a thoughtful man. You have kind of been researching over the last couple of days. Let me know what you're seeing in terms of the stage or the current state is a better way to say it of marriage.
And I'm no subject matter expert. I go to the internet. I'll read articles like everybody else. But when you go looking for these numbers, there's an argument among scholars as to what numbers are more correct in this, down the third, but they pretty much all agree in America that 45% of marriages end in divorce, right? And other accepted numbers are that between 70 and 80% of divorces in America are initiated by women, right? And then when it comes to, alimony, child support, right? And I don't think anybody in chat will even dispute this. 90% of the time, children are awarded to the mom, or a mom is awarded custody. And when there's alimony or child support, 90% of the time it goes from men to women. So those are the kind of things that are kind of out there. And then I was looking at an article just a few minutes ago. It was Fatherly magazine, and they were saying that the highest percentage of divorces, when they break down the races, it shows that Black women divorce at 26.1 times per thousand. So 26.1 times out of 1,000 marriages, black women are divorcing, and then contrast that with Asian women, which is the lowest percentage at 92. I'm sorry, 9.2% per thousand. With 9.2 per thousand getting divorced, and so I mean, to the question, like, is marriage dead? I'm not gonna say it's dead. It's on life support, and feminism is holding a pillow over his mouth, and the court system is yanking on the cord because it's
Lord.
about to be over.
Wow.
It's about to
So
be over. So
45% of marriages. So some people dispute, like you say, it's almost half.
almost happen. And here's the thing, and there's a lot of things that I always bring this up when I had this conversation with folks, pro marriage folks or whatever. 45% of people are getting divorced. That doesn't mean that the rest are happy.
Unhappy.
Right? It doesn't
You got a
mean
55% chance.
right. So out of that
Of actually having a
55%,
healthy, happy marriage.
right, and of that 55%, we know. I mean, it's anecdotal. It's going to be hard to get the hard numbers. I'm sure they're out there somewhere, but you got swingers, right? You got open relationships. You got people who are legally married, but they live in separate homes, right? What are those numbers? And no one, they're not asking these questions.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah. I've met a lot of people that just ain't divorced yet. They
And
married
it,
on the books until
right.
they meet that somebody, and then all of a sudden they have to be like, can we get the divorce? There's
Can
a
we get
lot
a
of that.
divorce?
Yeah.
So,
there's a
and
lot of
it's,
that.
so when we were talking about this, when we were trying to plan out the show, I mean, I came up with a whole bunch of little bullet points, and what I think one of the biggest problems I think we have in our society is the redefining of the word traditional. Because you and I talked about that.
Yes.
What
Go
does
for it.
traditional mean?
And
And it, yeah, and then and my buddy was saying, well, and it's a guy that I serve with. He's Jay Swans. He's on my show. And a little side note, I don't dress like this when I do the pod, but because I'm on Suzette Speaks, and she's always looking so elegant
so
and regal,
funny.
I was like, let me go find somebody's collared shirt and put it on. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hide the stains with a vest. This shirt probably, it's dirty, y'all. I got like Kool-Aid stains up under this thing.
You're so silly. Shout out
But
to Kid Nardoc saying hello to you. DL Saint holding it down.
thank
But
you
go
very
ahead,
much.
sir. Don't mean to interrupt your flow. Go ahead.
So traditional, like, what does traditional mean? Right. And for someone like me, I'm 51 years old. When I hear the word traditional, I'm thinking 50, 60 years ago. Like, I'm not saying women have to be barefoot and pregnant. I'm not saying that. And in the kitchen, I'm not saying that. But I do believe in roles and gender roles. Like, the man should do his best to be the breadwinner. And if his wife makes more money, the man still should be the man of the household. So I hear things with people like, nah, man, you crazy. That's toxic. I always get called toxic. You must be red pill. Like the movie says, I'm
All
unplugged.
right, no,
Yeah.
let's back up. We got red pill Saturday. We got red pill
Okay,
Saturday.
I'll come back to that.
Gonna help me break down the red pill and school me. And
So
again, let's
so the
talk about
50-50 thing.
traditional marriage.
Traditional marriage.
So
So
we had a question: what is traditional marriage? What is feminism? There's a lot going on in the chat. So Whiskey Earn says DL Saint is exactly on point. So you define for me, or what you think majority of people, and doesn't even have to be personal to you, would ascribe to a traditional marriage. What
I
does
think
that look like?
I think it depends on the age group. It depends. Are you talking to a
So
baby boomer?
let's say boomer. Let's say boomer. Let's say even Xer and boomer.
Xers and boomers,
Yeah.
and I would venture to, and correct me if I'm wrong, chap, but if you're an Xer or a boomer, if you're a man, you're like, I'm gonna be a man. I'm gonna hold the door open. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna provide. I'm gonna be home, and I'm gonna pay the bills, right? And then I expect my wife to cook and clean and also be there. I'm not saying that I am the man and this and that. I'm like, no, we just have our roles. I am going to appreciate and love my wife. I'm going to trust her opinion, right? I want my wife to pay the bills. I'm going to come home. Here's the money. And I want my wife.
Hold on. I'm finna say, where you going with that?
I want my wife to pay the
saying
bills.
handle the bill payment.
Thank you. Thank you. She's going to pay
the bills. That's what you're saying.
But I mean, I've already established I'm going to be the earner. So I want to come home and then, we're going to together, we're going to chart our life. But, and like I was telling to my buddy, like he gets on me. My buddy's been married over 25 years. I mean, he's married to an amazing woman. And like I said, I hardly use the word queen, but she is absolutely a queen. And this sister has done so much for him and he's done so much for her. And I was like, bro, you're the man of the household. When the decision needs to be made, you make it. And he fought me on that. He fought
Mm.
me tooth and nail, and then
Saying what?
found saying like, no, I don't. No, like my wife handles that, and my wife does this. I'm like, yeah, but you defer that authority to her. And I'm like, I can, and I started citing time. I'm like, dude, remember this time when this happened and you made the decision? Oh well, yeah. And he was. I kept pointing things
Is
out.
he a millennial? Is he a boomer? Is he what is he?
He's in tail end of Gen X, tail end of Gen.
Okay,
He
so
might even be
older
Gen Y.
Xer.
Like yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a little younger than me. But here's the thing,
Okay.
though.
Mhm.
Eventually, he thought about it. He said yes, and we broke it down in military terms, right? I'm saying you're in charge. You're the commander, right? She's the XO, the executive officer. There is a chain of command. You cannot have two people in charge. We don't have two presidents, right? We got a president, we got a vice president, right? You don't have two CEOs. You got one person that runs the corporation, and then you have all the other officers, executive officers that come under that, and that person answers to the board. But you just can't this 50-50 things. And we talked about this. And so this is what I want to ask the chat about
Yeah,
this
yeah,
50-50.
yeah.
Because the younger
Let me
people,
actually drop the link because there's a lot going on.
still a
We
lot
got
going
a
on
bunch
right.
of people in here. Y'all hit the like button. You're welcome to join the conversation because we're just gonna establish our terms. I think always as an attorney, when we start talking, we always want to have definition
Right.
of,
So
what we're talking about. So I've dropped the StreamYard. If you want to come up, you're welcome to come up and join. So traditional for most men in the Gen X and Boomer is what we think of as provider, protector, leader. Woman is kind of in the, I don't even call it secondary. It's just women is having a traditional gender role
right.
of
And she
home
holds it
front.
down.
Yeah, home front, kids being her primary responsibility. Now, is there a difference for millennial and
I
even,
think it is.
or was it Z? I think it's
The
Gen Z.
the Gen Z or the younger, whatever they are, the
Yes.
younger ones,
So
right?
under 35, under 30, I guess, or
Somewhere in
yeah,
that
somewhere
range.
there. Hmm.
And what I'm hearing from them, because I'm always talking to folks, even before YouTube, I love talking to people.
Yes.
I will always hear this 50-50 relationship. It's going to be 50-50. What does that mean, 50-50? And then I think I posed that
From the
scenario
men.
to you.
From the
I'm
men.
hearing it from women, and
Mm.
I'm hearing it from some men. I'm going
And
to
what do
say,
they mean by that? What do they mean?
I want to know. So I'm like, so I always pose this question. Okay, you're telling me it's 50-50, right? So you make decisions together. Okay, here's a scenario, right? One person is doing really well and the other person isn't. So let's say I'm dating a woman who, and I have a
Mm-hmm.
$1 million house, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a $1 million house.
Mm-hmm.
She has a $300,000 house. She makes $100,000 a year. I make $500,000 a year, right? So we're gonna be equal, 50-50 in this relationship. Uh, so when it's time to take the next step and cohabitate, who's moving into whose house, right? Obviously, we're gonna move into the nicer house, right?
So are we talking about I pay half the mortgage, you pay half the mortgage, I pay half the light bill, you pay half the light bill, I pay half the food bill, you pay, is that what we're talking about?
Well, is that
Do you see
50-50?
the
So
confusion on my face? Do you see
well,
that?
let me. So hear me out on the scenario.
Hmm. Mm.
One person has their life, the other person has their lives. We're talking about a merger,
Right.
and there's obviously a higher earner, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
when we come together, when the other person moves into your space, and it's going to be 50-50, I'm expecting a check for $500,000 once you walk in the door. You're going to be living here, right? We're 50-50, right? Right? I got $300,000 worth of cars out there, and then another check for $150,000. If we're going to be equal, is that what
I
that
think
means?
we
I
have
really
to.
don't know.
Okay, so let me use one of my family members. I know they tired of me talking about my cousins. I got tons of cousins, y'all. I got a cousin that got married. Maybe it was during the pandemic, so 2 years now or so. He had a house. He had like a beautiful townhouse. And old girl, my cousin-in-law, Southern slang, old girl moved in. They got married not too long after, and now they have bought a house together. I think it actually, I think it makes sense to do it that way as opposed to you move into my quote unquote territory or turf, for lack of a better term, so that we're both kind of neutral and building a life together. As you said, two separate lives are going to be hopefully open enough and flexible enough to make room for the other person in my life, right? There's a cool commercial right now. I forget what company. Oh my gosh, it slips me, of like an older couple getting married. They look like they're in their 70s. And he has like this weird, let's say it's like an Ohio State trophy lamp. And she's looking at it on the counter. But guess what? He's in your life now. You're going to have to let the lamp stay, even though you don't like it because it doesn't go with the decor. But that might be his favorite lamp. So we're going to do it. So it was cute. Like she keeps looking at it. But, as women, we know we're going to take it from in the middle of the living room and it'll eventually be in the den and it'll eventually be in his office. But he's going to have his lamp because this is his space too, right? So, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't know how true, like I said, millennials, especially if you're under probably about 35, I would love for y'all to jump up, men, so I can hear how you approach it, because I do think there's a more of a sense of collaboration with millennials. This is, I think, in my working experience, as opposed to with Boomer and Gen X, they have learned to kind of become more collaborative. But I feel like for some, and I guess that again, it depends on individual personality, seem that the marriage is seen as more, and I could be wrong, y'all let me know, teamwork.
Yeah,
Like
well,
we're one team. We're on a team and we're pushing towards the same goal. I could be wrong.
to Miss AK's point in her text right there, I just said I was a man, but you can change it up. And I would argue that a woman who has done the work and is successful and has all that stuff is not going to let a guy come into her space unless he's going to come up with half that money up front, because women tend to date at their level or higher, right? Most women, like, just, and I would ask Miss AK, like, when's the last time you took the dude out from McDonald's? When's the last time you took the coffee barista out? Dudes will take a fine woman dropping fries at McDonald's out tomorrow. And you take her out tomorrow, doesn't care about how much money she makes. But women don't tend to do that. And I'm talking in generalities, you know what I mean? So and like Miss AK, I'm no disrespect. I'm reading what you're saying. But when we talk about the money and we talk about 50-50, what are we talking about with the young people? Like, we've established what the older people are looking for, but what does that mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link. Jasmine says, great insight, Miss AKA lady. Jasmine says, I'm taking my wife check. She will be happy. Elroy Jetson said, I love the Jetsons. Elroy Jetson says, so when she leave, you don't feel like a sucker. So that's like, put your money on it, have some skin in the game. And that's another trend. A collaborative, yes, but they're like, put some money in this so that if something happens, I don't look dumb. I don't feel used. I don't feel like a simp and that kind of thing. I don't know.
I'm not. What's the name of old girl? Is it Brittany Renner?
Yeah.
I ain't mad at Brittany Renner. I ain't mad at all. Like, listen, say what you want, turn your face up, counselor. I'm just saying, I'm not mad at her.
Give me context, because
she takes care of her body. She looks good, right? She goes out and she puts herself in a position to meet men of financial status. She gets a basketball player. They have a relationship and a kid.
Straight out of college.
Okay. But I'm just saying, if you're playing the game to secure resources, which is what most women want out of a relationship, they really want resources, right? Okay. A lot. I'm not talking about the fringes. I'm talking about generally, just generalities. If you're looking for resources, that's what you do. Now, I don't know if I could have done that, but I understand why she did it. There's no college degree that she could have gotten that was going to pay her what she's getting paid now. Just like,
she's a little bit predatory, no? You don't
feel okay. I'm just, the world is predatory. You're talking to a soldier. I was trained to be a predator. You have to understand the situation on the ground. All I'm saying is you have to understand the situation on the ground. Men who think rationally about things like this, they think about it. Why would I get married if it doesn't work out and it's a 50% chance that this won't? I'm going to lose half my stuff. And I'm gonna have to fight just to be involved in my child's life. In most cases, why would I get involved in that situation? We haven't even talked about the take me as I am movement that's going on now. Don't judge me. Right. We haven't talked about what's going on with
Oh, okay, pause,
Instagram and
pause,
all
pause.
that.
Let's go, let's go, because we ain't getting there yet. So Kaylee, nice to see you, says, when it comes to the financial responsibility, we have an 80-20 split. Okay, that's for you and yours. Okay, he pays most of the big bills, and I take care of the incidentals. What do you think about that,
I
TL?
think it's an individual thing. Like, however, a marriage it's a personal thing between you and that person. And every marriage is not going to be the same because you touched on perfection. If you're looking for perfection, you're going to fail, right? Marriage is hard work. I've never been married, but I know how hard it is to sustain a long-term relationship. It's hard work. You talked about the lamp, right? It is compromise after compromise after compromise. So if your compromise is 80-20 and that works for you, outstanding. You're in that 55% who's probably going to work, right? But if you're one of those people who like, I got married because I wanted a wedding, right? I got married, right? I wanted a mech relationship. You know what I mean? Like pulling up in the drive-thru and just, give me the number one, supersize it, and you don't want to put any work into it. I'm throw it in the trash. And not only do I get to throw it in the trash, but I'm gonna walk away with money or walk away with property.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, I got that. I got DL Saint. Yeah, look, I got that watch, girl.
Well,
I got
there's
this.
so much of that it makes men, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but from what I gather, it makes them, very nervous. Like, why would I put myself out there, and risk, as you say, so much downside? 007 says, nope. Men in their 20s want a woman to work and lay up at home and play video games. See it every day. Well,
And
there
that's
are
not
different
new.
sides to this story. Not
Yeah.
everyone's living.
I mean, that's not new. Like in our community, like I made that statement that women are looking for, like they date same level and up, right?
Right.
But black women, and at least in my experience, I've seen black women will date down.
This
Right.
is nothing new, and we're calling it down, but I don't like that. I don't like it.
Okay, it is what it is. Call it what you want to call it. We can call it Plan B. We can call it whatever you want to call it. It's the beta, whatever. Call it whatever. But
I think you're like middle class people maybe marrying working class people.
okay. But you won't see that as much in other communities, but you'll see it in ours, and that's been around forever.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. What did one of Erica Badu's top songs called Tyrone?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because right, because the dude she was dealing with was a deadbeat. He wasn't doing nothing.
Renner, really? Wow. I'm just, I thought she's a predator, but okay.
Okay, she could be a predator, but she won the game, and she put it all out there to see. I look, bro. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's people in old boy PJ's circle that was like, bro, you need to be careful.
All right, so let me get this. I believe in contributing to the dating process. I pay for the second date, says Miss AKA Lady. It's a great way to attract a higher quality man. I do it so he knows I want more than his dollars. Amen. But you're right. I'm not dating someone who can't financially take care of himself. I agree with that.
Oh, can I just address that real quick?
Sure.
Miss AKA, I thank you. I wish you would jump in because I would love to talk.
I'll drop the link. Go ahead.
But here's the thing: if it's a top tier dude, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. My humble suggestion.
He doesn't care if you pay for the second one.
If you pay, he doesn't care. My suggestion would be make him dinner. Make him dinner. And I'm not saying like as a sex move or anything like that. Like, no, make him dinner, bring it to the a picnic or something. Show him you can cook. Show him. And then shout out to my dudes Fresh and Fit. They talk about this every night with young girls. You need to show value to a top tier guy. He doesn't care that you got money. He does not care.
So you're saying value outside of monetary value. They're asking, Ace Butterfly is asking, what age did DL Saint grow out of his street player? Were you a player when you were younger?
I mean, I don't know who that is, Ace Butterfly, man. Keep that. You know what I'm saying? I got the college shirt on, man. What you doing, man? Nah. That's a good statement. I'm gonna say that you never really grow out of it, and I don't mean it as I'm still a player. It's part of being aware, right? I can't unlearn what I learned being in the streets. Parking lot pimping, holla, holla, holla. You don't unlearn that. I can't unlearn when I see Suzette walking around looking elegant. I'm going to approach her a certain way. But when I see Brittany Renner out there walking around with everything out there for sure. I'm gonna approach her a certain way.
That New York A mob was
Exactly. What it do? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pull the watches out. I'm gonna jump in the European. Right. I'm gonna give her all this. I'm gonna trap her. You know, she a predator. I'm a predator. You know what I mean? But if I see a woman who's elegant, I want to sit down and talk and see what's going on. Like, well, let's see where your head is. So I don't think you ever stop being a player. And I hope I was able to answer that
okay.
question.
Interesting. I never thought of it that way. Tonight's topic is marriage dead, and if so, who killed it? We're gonna kind of veer back a little bit on principles of why men should get married. I think that's a very interesting question. Do you think there are enough benefits to men?
For getting married, okay, how to answer this? Do I think there are enough benefits to getting married? Yes. I think if you're trying to have children, that alone is enough to be married and stay married, just to raise your kids. That alone. Now, outside of that, you know what I mean? There's a lot of risk. And then we go into probability and possibilities, right? Again, shout out to Fresh and Fit. They talk about this. And listen, I know a lot of people think those guys are evil. But don't watch the clips. Go watch the whole show and listen to some of these conversations. Possibility versus probability, right? And it makes sense when you think about it. Like, Suzette, I can say, hey, girl, it's possible that you can win the Powerball, which is 181 million, the Mega Millions, which is 50 million, and the Lotto X, which is 17. That's $248 million, girl. So run up all your credit, right? Go buy all the whips you want, all the jewelry you want, spend all that money, because it's possible that you're going to be worth 248 million come next Thursday. Now, is that probable? Hell no. Right? So it's possible to find an elegant woman who is willing to put in the work and who was on board and who doesn't want anything from you. It's possible. She does exist. But what's the probability of you finding her? And if you find her, what's the probability that she wants you? So
this is true. Okay,
right?
so that you talking red pill now? You talking red pill? I think.
It's no. I'm talking being aware. I'm talking being unplugged. Red pill means a lot of things to a lot of different people. I take the meaning from the movie The Matrix. Do you want to wake up and be unplugged from the system, or do you want to take this blue pill and go back into the system? I'm red pill. I'm red pill because I was a paratrooper. I'm red pill because I've gone to war. I cannot ignore the situation on the ground. If you're telling me there's a 1 in 2 chance that I'm gonna get chopped up if I get married by this woman, and I'm gonna be, just buried financially, why would I take that chance? And it's like one of the in the chat earlier, someone was like, "Well, why would I pay for it if I can get it for free? Why am I buying a cow if I'm getting the milk for free?"
Sir Hale speaks. Nice to see you, sir. Says to answer the topic, marriage is not dead. So this is what I'm saying though. I ask you about men seeing benefit, and we always end up back at the hard reality of the possibility of it not working. Why is it that our counterparts get married and staying married? Because there has to be some benefit. The family is the core building block of a community. Is the core building block for life.
Yeah,
That's
for
the
the
benefit
for the
in
nation.
me. In me seeing like, okay, this is our safe space. This is our foundation. This don't go nowhere. This right here is you go out there, you fight, you come back as shout out to Chantel Simone. This is the peace, right? This is the reset. This is the like the pouring into one another moment. So I just see it. We always seem to hear within our community this very true and tragic narrative of like, but why risk it? But other communities, I don't know, is that why, in certain ways they are outpacing us because they're still choosing marriage for the most part. There's still a 45% across the board divorce rate. But even if they get divorced, they're choosing marriage again. Second time, they're choosing marriage again. I'm not saying like that's the way we want to, pattern ourselves. But I'm just thinking they still think it's worth the risk. Do you hear that? You're like,
I hear that, and I think that has a lot to do with the Disney fairy tale. I think that people want to find their Prince Charming. They want to find their damsel in distress, or they want to they want to be King Arthur, and they want to find a Guinevere, or however whatever analogy you want to use. I think we're raised on those stories, and people want that, and I would argue that men fall in love harder than women do, and we can back that up with the divorce rates.
Men fall in love. Put a 1 in the chat if you think men fall in love harder than women do. Put a 1. Put a 2 if you think women fall in love. I'm a little behind on the chat. If you think men fall in love
Because think
harder.
about it, they fall in love harder, and men know what they're getting into. They know it. Every guy, I would venture to say 99.9% of men out there got a heartbreak story, at least one.
Hold on. Now we got too many questions. I want to hear one if you think this is true. As a black man, I'm going to just shoot through it because I'm behind. As a black man, says Miss AKA Lady, what do you think black women want? Because I'm hearing, okay, family, and then we touch on for black men, not much else. That hurts.
I
I'm
mean,
like, there's supposed to be some good things more. Okay, we're gonna get a little bit deeper. Ace Butterfly, I'm gonna just run through them and we can bring other people up if y'all want to come up. I dropped the link. Gail dropped the link as well. So you guys, please. Will black women have difficulty getting married if they have to deal with the black community? Oh, excuse me, culture mentality. Excuse me, of the lifelong. She's saying you're identified as a self-identified player, lifelong. Is that what you intended to mean? Hold that thought. Hold that thought. I just want to keep going and ask
it's
if people.
girls gonna be hard. Can you just show them and everybody can just read them? It's
Yes.
gonna be
Okay.
hard to
Go ahead. Go ahead.
remember.
Go ahead. I'm gonna see one if a man is more in love, deeply in love, than a woman. But go ahead if you want to
And
respond.
and I missed AK's question too, but we'll start with Ace Butterfly. Um, I I'm not saying that, oh, I'm a lifelong player. I'm saying because I was in the streets and I saw the true nature
Mm,
of the dating game, I can't unlearn that. Only
mm,
I'm not bragging like, oh, I can go into the club and get a chick to come home with me. I'm not bragging about that. I'm 51 years old. I'm a single dad. At the rate I'm going now, I will die alone. All
mm.
the playerness in me is not going to help me when my hips don't work or when I get some terminal illness and or I'm just 95 years old and I'm by myself. Like loneliness crushes men too. It's just we can deal with it
Yeah.
better than women because we're not in our emotions as much. So no, I'm not glorifying the player life, but I will say this: I am much happier today with my knowledge as being a quote unquote player than the guys that I watched. The 80% of dudes come up pedestalizing women, bringing flowers to the date, taking them on helicopter rides, spending all their money on a good dinner because they believe that's how you're going to get her to love you, right? I know better, right? You go on a date with me, hey man, you might get some coffee. I'm like, nah, get some tea, man. That frappuccino, whatever, costs too much, man. Get a tea. I'm not wasting money up front on you.
Yeah.
That's the
You've
street
learned
life.
that life. You've learned. Lord
That's the
God. And
street
then
life.
we have to come to the man that has been hurt, and the man don't want to give you a Starbucks croissant and egg because
And let me, and I'll
he's
finish it
hurt.
with this. I'll finish it
Yeah.
with this. The only reason men like me or men with that history don't want to do it is because over trial and error. Whenever I've tried that, whenever I've done the
Right
right
by.
things,
It has
I
bit
did
you in the
it
face.
didn't work. And
Yeah,
people are like, well, it
yeah.
was just the wrong woman. Was it?
That's what that's
I,
my next question. I'll be like, who are y'all giving all this goodness to? This hurts.
from
Mr.
hood
Black.
rats to corporate women, I've tried it all. And whenever I tried to
Oh,
be the good guy, it failed. But whenever I was the bad boy, guess
they all
what?
up on you.
You playing, you silly, touching all up on you. Blame it on
This hurts,
alcohol.
Mr. Black. Well, thank you for sharing that deal. Marriage is not dead. However, marrying a black woman is a death. So, like, this is how we're feeling.
Oof.
Ouch. This is how we're feeling. Just your opinion. Thanks. Andrew does believe men fall harder than women, really. Ah, because women watch more daytime TV. Paisley agreed. Oh my. Okay. All right, a little oh really? Y'all believe men fall more deeply? I think women do. But again, I'm a woman. I don't know. Y'all think men fall more deeply in love?
Men will self
Ooh.
delete because I don't want to say the other word because
Right,
that's.
right, right.
But men will erase themselves over love. Women don't do that. Women
Mm.
move on quick.
Oh,
When
we don't. We be hurt.
once
We
okay,
just
let
try
me
to
let me
cover it
change it.
up.
Let me change it. Once you make up your mind,
Oh, when we're done, you didn't even exist. When we're done.
gone.
That right there is the truth. Last call for insight. Nice to see you. That's Suzette Speaks for any man who believes in legacy. This is where we at. Thank you. Marriage isn't dead. The fall in love harder. Y'all surprised me. Majority of y'all thought men fall harder. Love can go either way, says Genius Beats. Nice to see you. Wow. Otis Chef says women. Yeah, we do. Wow, says the real Nathan Daly. Wow. Okay. Two. What's the difference of love in his eyes? All right. J Bones is in the building with the honey barbecue potato chip icon. How are you? Are you ready? Can you unmute?
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey,
Nice,
what's good?
nice to have you on. How you doing today?
I'm good. Just finished my honey barbecue chips.
Ha.
As I anticipated. Nice to see you, my friend. So tell me, is marriage dead, or what are you thinking about tonight's topic?
I, I love it. This is a great conversation, but you know what it is? I don't think it is dead because here's the thing, Suzette. It's like I don't know. Maybe it might be a generational gap thing. I'm still in my 20s, but when I was in college, everybody was getting married before we even graduated. Like
Really?
it's dead in our community, but it's not dead in our whether it's Hispanics or white. But
Yeah,
I mean,
they
I
get
was
married. They get married.
they're getting married. I mean, I've been up here a million times, Suzette. When I would say my junior year, and I went to two different schools, leaving Notre Dame to go to Princeton. The abundance of white people getting married at Notre Dame were they're the same size getting married at Princeton. The Hispanics was getting married before we even graduated. The whites were getting married before we graduated. It's dead on our side, but it's not dead on other people's sides. It's
So let me.
definitely not.
Okay, so I 100% where I went to school. Yeah, I went to a PWI.
Yeah,
They wasn't playing. It
they
wasn't
wasn't
like in
playing.
my face, but by
Yeah,
the time they graduated, or soon thereafter, right at graduate school, oh
yeah,
yeah, they were.
yeah.
They
It was
were.
happening. It was happening a lot. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I was kind of tired sometimes just sitting. Like I'd be sleeping at in my dorm or sleeping at home, and all of a sudden I get a call. Hey, I'm gonna have to do my white voice, but my friend, hey James, hey dude, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, what's going on, Rob? Hey man, I was wondering, could you like come kind of like you know just help me out with my wedding, bro? You're getting married, Rob? I mean, we're juniors in college. Like, why are you getting? But I thought it was a weird thing. But I started to notice as time went by, that was just a normal thing for them. That was like a
Mm,
normal thing. Like, and I played on a soccer team, so if it wasn't the white boys, it was the Hispanic. Some of my Hispanic
the
friends.
soccer
It was like the
players.
same thing. The soccer
But
players, yeah,
listen, as you mentioned, your schools, Notre Dame is Catholic. They don't play about that.
Catholic, 100%, one
They don't
hundred
play about.
percent, and that
They
was,
believe in
yep,
marriage. It's taught. It's kind of drilled
it's kind
into
of drilled.
Catholic
Yeah,
schools and all that. It's like this is what God
yeah,
says. We expect you
yeah.
to have a lot of kids without contraception.
But yeah. But here's the thing, and I'm just throwing this out there because I don't know. But those demographics, right? White, Latino, Catholic, Asian, they're coming out of homes with mom and dad.
100%. That
Mm-hmm.
is
And
true
that's the
too.
thing. You're gonna.
Yeah, they
That's
saw
the
it.
norm. That's the norm.
Yeah.
And it is not to throw shade or anything like that. Again, I'm just looking at the situation on the ground. Right? What's the common trope? Single moms are raising young boys and young girls, and what are they saying? They're saying very negative things
About
about
dad.
about dad and whatnot, and they're saying things like, "I don't need no man." Dad's like, "I ain't trying to mess with no woman." You know what I mean? So our whole community has been decimated. I'm not a huge fan of Kevin Samuels, but he talks about this.
Hmm.
The political ramifications are severe. Look at our community, right? We don't have anything. Right? Why don't we
No,
have anything?
this I can agree with because we are missing that building block. It takes a single person double the time to get the same type of wealth to buy that house by yourself. It's like a double struggle. When I look at the folks who got married pretty young, some
Yeah.
did divorce, some did divorce by maybe 30, but and then some of them got married again. But those who got married and stayed married, to me, looking at the kids are bigger, they're further down the road, both financially. It was a struggle early on. I would say
So
if you
Very
married
true.
in your 20s, the struggle is real. But y'all dumb, y'all
Very
young,
true.
y'all don't have
you
a
don't know
lot to
anything.
lose.
But and I would say this because just to harp on the political ramifications of it, right?
Mm,
Think about whatever you spend. Don't say it out loud, but just think about your monthly expenditures as a single person,
mm-hmm,
right? Get that number in your head. And then
mm-hmm,
think,
mm-hmm.
if I had someone, and we're going to go on a young 50-50 thing, if I had someone, 50% of that number could go where? It could go to buying other property. It could go to stocks. It could go to putting your kid into a really good school, like college funds and stuff like that. It could go to vacations. It could go to cultural things, right? That's just your 50%. Dude got another 50%. Think about that.
Yes, you're right. And I think about that too. The stress of it as you get older, you think about, wow, this is like not the way it's supposed to be. Red Pill Hustle coming for me talking about, your friends that you be going all on brunches with. What? What we gotta be monkey branching?
You know what that means? You know what that term means?
No, what does that mean?
You'll find out Saturday. You'll
No,
find.
tell me
Yeah,
what
nope,
monkey
nope, nope,
branching
nope.
means.
That's another
I know
show.
it's funny, but I don't know what it means.
It has a very good meaning, and it's, we got to save it, because if we tell you now, you're gonna go down that rabbit hole. You gotta wait till Saturday.
What
Gotta
are we?
wait. Shout out to Red Pill
Nobody
Hustle.
knows
That's
that. I don't know
no.
what this means. Is
Nobody
this
tell her.
girl?
Wait till Saturday. Wait till Saturday.
Boy, okay, I'll be listening. Okay, this is where I am. That's why I'm talking about it. Black legacy. Black legacy. When we look even at the lady who just got, hopefully will be confirmed, bruh, the institution of marriage pushed a lot of people. I know it gave me the life that I had. Thank God for my parents. But I struggle to understand why we don't value it. All right, so the biggest thing now, as I'm hearing, the loss. If we're in that 45%, we are deathly fearful of all the things that we work for going down the drain, or being our resources now being sent to apparently another man's household eventually. That is too big of a risk for us to take now? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's a big risk. I mean, dudes are still doing it, knowingly doing it. It's a big risk, and 45% of them are getting burned. And I would argue that number is higher. But again, because that's why they don't agree with the numbers. I would argue, because in California, their divorce rate has to be over 65%. Because people get married and divorced in California like twice a week, same person.
So, that sounds like this Ace Butterfly says Black people are having children at this stage, that other groups are getting married.
I would say that I would say the problem is it's simple. We're not taught that. We don't see that. We just don't see it, and we're so busy trying to get it. Because what are we all
we're
told?
taught the opposite. I would have pushed back a little bit. Don't look for marriage yet.
Yes,
you have time.
Yeah. Go get it.
Don't get wrapped up. This is and good question, Ace Butterfly. To the caller, Jay Bones, from Princeton. Were Black students, male and female, looking for husband and wives at school, either Princeton or
yeah. I talked about this before on another panel. Yeah, I talked about this before, Suzette, on another panel. Unfortunately, he's actually right. Here's the thing too. One of the things that does hamper us is that if you kind of notice it, a lot of us are doing much better. We did better than we were doing better than the generation before. So it also becomes a competition. I remember when I was at Notre Dame, it was hard talking to the sisters. They would give
me an
some
example. Don't be just broad stroking. Give me an example.
I hate to sound.
First of all, you had
really
to be fine. You was on the soccer team. You had to be fine.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
And
but here's
hard?
Here's the thing about it. Let's just say it was a little bit. I don't want to get into it too much.
That's
It turns into a lot of controversy. No, and I'm just saying it was hard talking to the sisters.
No,
it was hard talking to the sisters. Some of them was like, what is the term? What's the American? They're playing hard to get. A lot of the sisters played hard to get. Yeah, a lot of them. But then when you look over on the other side, it's like, you go to a party, there wasn't, the Hispanic girls and the white girls, they wasn't giving us that sort of, kind of a block. They
were experimenting.
No going on.
They were experimenting. That's why.
They say, hold on for a second. They say they were experimenting, but here's the thing. I'm engaged now to my girlfriend, or my fiance. She's from Tel Aviv. She's from Israel. So that was the experiment turned into a real thing. Yeah, the experiment turned into a real thing. I remember I went to her house for dinner the first time. An old Jewish man is sitting there looking at me. After dinner, he pulls me to the side. He says, "Hey, this is not a joke. I want to know what you're doing with my daughter. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know from front to back, what are you doing with my daughter?" So it wasn't no experiment going on. It's a different situation. When you walk into other people's culture, they're not playing games with you. They want to know, is their marriage ahead of schedule? 100%. There is no, y'all just playing around. It might just be a little bit of laughing. Once you walk into that house and she brings you in, it's a done deal.
Right. And in the black
So you
community,
think there wasn't black fathers that were doing that, or black girls didn't allow you even a chance to get to that point? And y'all
I
still,
don't
I
know.
don't know
It's
what
like,
monkey branching mean anyway, but go ahead.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, Suzette, but I think it was a good thing too for Big Bro here to say what he said before, because unfortunately we're not seeing that healthy black relationships when we're growing up. A lot of times you're not really
Mm.
seeing that. So it does hamper us. It's a big thing. It cuts our vision. It cuts a strong vision ahead of us, and it makes things really difficult. And legacy is a very important thing, and our legacies are kind of disappearing. Like, you see the black couple thing, it's not really there anymore. But the marriage thing is not, it's just dead on our side. It's dead on our side, but it's not dead on, you go into the Hispanic community, you go into everybody else's community, they're getting married. Like, most of my friends got married at, I'm actually a late bloomer because I'm 29. Most of my friends got married at 22, 23. They got
Wow.
married. Yeah. When we were in college, as soon as everybody was getting, like, I just remember having to keep on going to go get my tuxedo. Always, always, always. Like, this
Another wedding,
summer,
another wedding, another wedding.
another wedding, another wedding. Last summer, I got a call. I gotta go from Newark Airport to JFK, hop on a plane, go to Scotland, because my friend from Pakistan is marrying his girlfriend. I gotta leave, come back 2 weeks later, go down to Egypt. My friend, he's marrying his girlfriend. Like, it was a nonstop thing. They're not playing games. It's
They
just
want
us.
legacy. They want
They
to
want
build.
legacy. Yeah,
Oh my
it's just
gosh.
us.
Let me ask you this. Miss Globe Girl says, did black women play hard to get, or were the other women just loose? That is her question. Is
That
that
is,
what you call it? Open or experimentative?
I
I
mean,
don't.
it's
Yeah,
hey,
that always does come up. But here's the thing about it: it's a
Wait, so the answer is
generational.
yes?
No, no. The answer is, there is no, I don't want to. No, I'm not gonna say that. There is, when you go to college now, amongst the young ones now, there is really no, like, I'll give an example, Suzette. I counsel some of the kids, some of the younger kids at Rutgers through the Catholic Church program. There is no, what's his name now. There's not much color coordination going on. Like, all the black kids are dating the white kids, all the white kids are dating the Hispanic kids, all the Asian kids are dating. Like, most of my students, a lot of the young black men, they all have, like, Pakistani girlfriends.
This
So
is
there
at
is
what
no,
school? What school?
pretty much everywhere around. Because I deal with the kids of Rowan and Rutgers. They're not they're
Okay.
just dating. Yeah, they're just dating to date. There is
Mm,
no, those kind of days are kind of like the older generation. That's when things were kind of iffy. But
mm,
if you look at
mm.
us now, when I was in college, nobody even noticed that we were. Everybody kind of dated everybody. Everybody was kind of
So
holding
you're saying
hands around
cross
campus.
cultural, cross racial, all of that.
Yes, there's a lot of cross culture going on. There is
Interesting.
no, yeah,
And
it's
when the
it's it's
marriage comes, is cross cultural as well?
100%. There's a lot of marriage
Oh,
going on between. Yeah,
go
oh,
ahead,
yeah.
Dio.
okay. So to answer the question, are they loose? What I mean? I would argue, especially today, everybody's loose. Everybody's loose. And if you don't believe me, go look at Instagram. I'm just gonna keep it
Not
100.
everybody. Y'all okay? Say everybody.
Everybody. I'm talking general in general. I'm as if I were 22 years old now,
Right.
with the knowledge that I had, when I was 22 years old,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my God, I'd be killing it. Because
True.
women are they just bout it. I mean, so I just want
Yeah.
to throw that out there. It's not just like, oh, the white girls are easy, the Latin girls are easy. No, everybody's easy right now. It's
I
almost
don't
like
know if I can
it's
say
like the 70s
everybody.
again.
There's some people with some traditional
Oh,
values still.
okay. I'm gonna
Not
come down.
great
Okay,
majority.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'll come down there in a couple of weeks. We'll go to Mr. Jones, and you tell me how hard it's gonna be in there. You know what I mean?
Listen,
I'm
it's
just
spring
saying.
break right now. We can't judge. This is not the normal time right now. Spring break,
Okay, well,
Miami. They
okay.
have a curfew because these people acting up, right?
I'll come in
So
3 months. It don't matter when we come. You can pick the city. I will show you what's going on, and we're talking about the
uh
masses. But
yes. Okay. Okay.
yeah, I will say that. But the thing is this, and you see a big push for this on TikTok and in the social world. Women are
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Don't judge me. My past doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many men I've been with, right? Because guys are seeing that they're too promiscuous. And like you said, you got the dad on one end, what's up, sir? What are your plans for my daughter? You got the women on the other end. What are your plans for my son? And when they go through they scrub through your cyber footprint and see all the things you're doing, and they find your OnlyFans and they see the stuff that you these trips you taking and this and that. It's like, nah, you can't marry into our family. And that's what's going on. So it's like, no, don't judge me. Cause I wrote this down, like, don't judge me. Take me as I am. No accountability movement. It's hurting the masses, not just the black community, but with our community, we've been decimated, not to play the victim card, but we've been decimated.
No,
We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
do you agree with that, J Bones?
Yeah. I mean, we've been hurt in a very psychological format, so it's one of the weird things about it is that like we kind of pretend that we don't want to talk about it, but now that we are, let's just say it's true. Now that a lot of us are doing better, we're drifting apart. It's like, man, I got mine, you got yours. A lot of black women are doing well, and a lot of the brothers are doing, much better than they used to do. So it's kind of like, all right, we all got some bread now. So it's like
individualism mindset.
Individualism, yeah. Instead of it's actually weird because now would be the best time for us to make that power couple move, but it's like, nope. It's like, all right, you stand over there. I got, I'll buy a Ferrari, you buy a Maserati, and we'll just race on a highway or something.
I hate that, bro. Yeah. I agree with you. The way horrible. The resources are going, and welcome to those who are just joining. Hit the like button. Let me try to catch up a little bit. I've just been listening to my guest, Mr. DL Saint, along with J Bones, a legend, helping me do some heavy lifting. Is marriage dead? Is the topic.
And Suzette, real quick, I think that blacks.
I'm digesting what you're saying, but go ahead. Yes,
yeah, please. I think young blacks, our children are doing better than we are still. Whereas our white counterparts and Latina counterparts, I think it was the last generation was the first time where a white child has done worse than their parent. Whereas in the black community, we're still doing better.
Economically speaking, this generation of black is still moving ahead further than our parents did, but it actually kind of going backwards in the other cultures, maybe making less money than their parents did.
Yes. So if we were to get it together,
he's right.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
He's
Jay.
right. I don't even, he's 100% right. I never saw, there was always a stigma about us as, especially with us as black men not performing well. But when I was in college, everybody seemed beneath me. I swear to you, like I never saw it like that. Beneath me as far as educational and, academia, like I had no problem just basically belittling everyone when it came to test scores and
okay, so you was already a top dog. Well, if you got into Princeton, sir, I kind of figured out.
I didn't. I mean, it was some heavy. It was a little bit. I would say, it was a little bit easier for me because my whole family, like I'm the youngest out of 7 boys. Pretty much half of the family went to Notre Dame. Everybody went to Notre Dame. Okay, so
you got legacy, you got Catholicism.
Yeah,
you got a lot of culture in you that's telling you you better get married. And look, you already found your fiance before 30.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much, yeah.
I was a legacy baby, but we did well. Saying, I don't understand how black women can be both thoughts, while still playing hard to get. Explain what you meant.
I mean, one has nothing to do with the other. I mean,
what J Bone said, he felt like they were playing hard to get. Explain what you meant. They weren't giving you time of day. They wouldn't go on time of day. They wouldn't go on dates and things.
No. Here's what I meant. Yeah, I just pretty much explained it too when I just said that. It's like we were all doing well, and I noticed that it's a thing. It's like now that we're all doing well, everybody's a little bit much more resistance. It's like when I'm not even gonna lie, so that when we was in school, a lot of the sisters were, they were kind of poking their noses at us. It was like we are in elite
their
academies.
Noses up at you, like
pretty much, yeah. It's weird because it's like we're all in elite surroundings.
Yeah, I'm about to say, once y'all at Harvard, once y'all at Princeton, when y'all
exactly, and that's the best part.
You've already self-selected for the top of the country.
Exactly, like that's the best time for us to meet. It's like, all right, you are doing.
They gonna wake up. They gonna be mad.
You are top class. I'm top class. This is the best time to do it. But it was like, damn. It's like there's a lot of resistance for us to actually hold hands and actually get things done together. I never said anything. I don't know where she got that from. I never said anything.
Well, she's mixing the two things because you said what you said. Right, you said what you said, and then I said that I made the comment about you think the white girls are loose and this and that. So I think the two got mixed. But let me ask you this, brother. You think it could have been that maybe they didn't think you were hard enough or black enough? Because that's a thing.
That does come into question. Sometimes a lot of the sisters do prefer some image of brothers, like a lot of times they looking for that Tupac situation, and I'm definitely not that. I was more of the Ben Carson type. I was high GPA. But here's the thing about it. I'm
That
not gonna
Susie
lie.
French report
Hold
where
on
you're
for a
going.
second, Suge. I'm
Just
not gonna
because you
lie.
said people.
I was a bit more of the Ben Carson type, but on the other hand,
Mm,
too, I was the
mm.
captain of the soccer team. Like, hey,
You should have had no
I was
problem.
an
That's why I'm
all-state
like, I'm
athlete.
mad about
Yeah,
it. I'm mad about that.
yeah.
I'm mad about that
But it
totally.
does happen. He is right, 100%.
Yeah,
But
and
I
just
was gonna say, I have a homeboy that went to UM. I'm talking about smart Ben Carson type. Ended up going
Yeah.
to law school, and he used to dress up like Tupac just so he could get girls.
right.
Whoa, whoa,
I
whoa,
used to
whoa,
laugh. We
whoa,
used to be like,
Suzette,
"You're not Tupac.
Suzette,
You are actually
you
smart.
have
You were
no
raised."
idea.
Not that he was. Excuse me.
That was a
Tupac was
thing.
very smart, but you know what I'm saying? Like he was trying to emulate
Yeah,
thug life, if you will. Not that Tupac.
true.
Tupac was brilliant, but all I'm
But
saying is
that's what they wanted.
it
It
was the
was like
most
it was a
dumb
big
thing I've ever
thing.
seen in my life, but it
Yeah,
worked.
they
Yeah.
wanted that. They want a
Su-
lot of girls like that, and I'm sorry, but I cannot portray something that I'm not. It's not gonna happen.
And
Yeah.
you end up now you
Suzette,
got it's really taking you. Geez,
yeah, Suzette. Let me ask you this: you got a choice between Carlton and Jay-Z, personality wise.
Yeah.
Carlton
No,
or
Carlton
Jay-Z.
and Pac.
And power,
Carlton and
you
Tupac.
pick, pick who you want to pick. Pick your icon.
that's
But the
not
thing
even
is,
a contest. That's unfair, guys.
but think about that.
How's
Think
that
about
unfair?
that. Because the brother's the
How's that
captain.
unfair?
The brother's playing soccer. What if he
Yeah.
was the captain of the football team, star quarterback, or the star point guard? I think his story would be a little
The
different.
thing is, soccer men have a different swag. You have to understand where he's coming from and his swag.
But
Understanding that now. But
I would
if
argue that's
you're
your
22, you're looking at him like, I don't know. I hear
I
what
would
you're saying.
I would argue that's your island background coming in because soccer is big in the islands. It's not big
Yeah.
here.
I
We don't.
I respect soccer players. Yeah.
I do too. It's a great sport, but I don't watch it like that because I was born here. Now, if I was born in the UK, guess what?
No, no, soccer
I'll know what the red
is-
card and the yellow card means, and I would know the positions. But we football people over here. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, he is.
yeah,
He is
yeah.
right
All
about
right,
that.
let me
He
read
is right
some of the
about
chat.
that. Yeah, because a lot of the truth be told, a lot of the African American sisters, they wouldn't really respond to soccer players like that. We weren't the soccer players. We weren't getting that much shine when we was in school. You would get shine from different cultures. Like you look in the bleachers after the game, is nothing but white girls and Hispanic girls there. So he's definitely right about that.
yeah, ask the chat,
Yeah.
yo, chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 if you've watched soccer in the past 5 years. Put a 1 in there if you've watched soccer, a whole soccer match, the whole thing, one whole soccer match. Yeah, put a 1 in there if you watched one whole soccer match in the past 5 years.
Now we're gonna have some people that's pushing against some of the narrative. All right, I see it. Ace Butterfly. I see black men never hesitate when throwing black women under the bus, but they bite their tongue when asked direct question about other races of women. Interesting, her opinion. Ms. AKA Lady adds, my IG timeline is full. I follow a lot of black love too, black weddings and black couples. I see it. Maybe that speaks to my algorithm, but I really don't. It doesn't look dead to me. Me too. Y'all so funny. They talking about the Suzette T. Yes, let's go. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. Kaz, favorite one. Let me see. Luke Hazley adds, and I'm going to try to catch up. Gosh, I'm behind. We are a traditional family here in California, and the younger generation is learning things that are not a part of traditional values. It's hard to keep tradition in a modern world. Okay, cool. They was mad when you was talking about loose. Okay, got it. Social media plays a huge role, says Whiskey Earn. And I guess the idea that marriage is dead or what marriage would work or the risk of marriage. This is big. I was gonna say a lot of the black girls be playing hard to get because of the religious overlay, because we don't want to look easy. Hardly any of us go to church anymore or even believe. Well, some do, but yes, there's been a big shift there. Thanks, Luke Hazley. The super sticker. No comment, just love. Thank you for being busy in the chat as well, adding your feedback and your insight. Thank you. The EBH Black Show says men are having less of the deed now, while women are having more. Women are sleeping with the same dominant men. Now I read that children are being born of like the same 20% of men. Is what I'm hearing,
well,
when it's out of wedlock.
You're gonna see this on Saturday. These are big numbers. Like 80 to 90% of women are pursuing the same top tier guys, which is the top 20%. So 80% of men don't really get any intimate access, right? And that's huge. And when you talk to, and again, there's some shows out there you can actually see it live, play out live, because every woman describes the same guy. And it's like I said, when's the last time you said, hollered at the dude that was making your fries? And because I was hollering at the girl at McDonald's the other day. So it was like, yo, she was older, but still, she was cute.
Ace Butterfly asked J Bones, did the Princeton caller have a specific incident? Did he have black female friends? Were you cool with any black girls at all?
At Notre Dame, definitely not at Princeton, no. But yeah, at yeah, at Notre Dame, definitely a lot, because the sisters at Notre Dame, they were fine. A lot of them were beautiful, but that was even it was
You
even
had to say
harder
it like
than it
that.
was.
They was fine.
Yeah, it
So
was.
the ones at Princeton wasn't?
There was this, it was a lot of, Princeton's a top tier, so it was a lot of what's his name there. It's a lot of nerdy situations going on there.
Oh, so you're saying, all right,
Yeah,
we'll
they
leave
was
that
kind of
alone.
in the back.
Whee! This,
Yeah.
all right, Ace Butterfly getting deep. Why do black men get angry at black women who want to quote thug when they're the ones that invented the image and promoted it? Ouch. Lord God. Let me see what else. That's why Jada chose Will. Hey, Andre,
That's
nice
true.
to see you. Yeah. I don't know if black men invented it. That's another thing. Yeah, because I think it was white mainstream media maybe that marketed it.
But I
Maybe
mean, women have always wanted bad boys, right? Go all the way back to the prohibition. Go all the way
Yeah,
back to
yeah,
the gangsters.
all of
Yeah.
them.
They just dress differently. When it's coming back, suits are coming back. Thanks to Kevin Samuels, look like suits are coming back. But
Yeah.
gangsters wore suits back then.
Back in the day. So what was your question for your ones and your
Yeah.
twos? Your question was one if what?
One, if you've watched the whole soccer match within the past 5 years.
Miss Eka, only time I 8. Hey, Ebony, you done know. We got a little young lion.
For real. I said the whole match.
Okay, quite a few people. Y'all
I gotta call Cap. But it was one more thing I wanted to touch on when you're ready. Along that I wrote. I covered everything but one last topic.
Never watched soccer? Sorry. Yes, go ahead. I'll just keep flipping through the comments. Go ahead, DL.
So, and this is something that I found in certain parts of the internet, and this is about the masses, and this is coming from Caucasian people, like white folks. Rollo Tomasi, which you're gonna hear about him on Saturday when y'all talk about the red pill.
The red pill, Saturday 12, y'all. Mm-hmm.
But he even says when he talks to women, he coaches women, corporate women, like and these are Caucasian folks, women who make a lot of money. The problem is that alpha women, right? It's becoming a thing. There are women who are making themselves into the man they want to marry, and that's a problem. And, and that is a huge problem.
Elaborate a little bit into the man they want to marry. Explain a little bit more.
So most women want a guy who's better than them, like a guy who's like 6 feet or taller, right? The hypergamy thing. So women believe that's that's attractive. If I can find a tall man, tall, dark, handsome, right? He's in shape, he's making money, right? That's attractive. Right.
6 pack, 6 figures, and what's the other 6? 6 pack.
Six figures, 6 pack, 6 feet. 6 feet. So here's the thing.
6 feet.
Women think that's attractive because they think it's symmetrical. Shout out to Myron Gaines. They think that that's symmetrical. They think men want women who have those traits, who are powerful, have money, right? They're alpha. They make decisions all the time. They ain't taking no crap. So that's what they make themselves into. And they're making themselves into the man they want to marry. But here's the problem. Now you're too alpha. You're too masculine. And a dude with money does not want, a top tier guy does not want that. And that's a big problem because women are in school, women outnumber men in school, 3-1 or something that now. They're going to come out, they're going to make more money. And we've already established that women, generally speaking, date across and up. So the more money they make, the less options they have.
Wow. Okay. I'm hearing you, and I want to hear what the chat has to say. I'm going to drop the link again. Y'all want to come up and discuss. Andrew, thank you for the super chat. Says, marriage is a union of the houses. Love is an emotion. If people treated a marriage as something to build on and establish from a collective base, if people treated a marriage as something to build on and establish from a collective base, we need to focus on legacy building, wealth building, and having companionship. Yeah, I think I was hoping that those would be good enough. Are those good enough reasons, guys, to get married? In your opinion, DL?
It's good enough, but you can't overlook the risk. You just can't overlook that. Here's my thing on that. I would love to get married to a woman making $500,000 a year. She ain't got to be like cute. She ain't got to be like necessarily in shape. Oprah, holla at your boy. Because if it don't work, I'm not losing anything.
Oh, boy.
You can't overlook that.
Yeah, that does turn into a certain thing. If you remember last week, Suzette, we was talking about this with Dr. Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
And Doc was saying that, women that do make more than men, it usually don't work out. But truth be told, that also slides back to our community. I've never seen that with other people like that. Like, I'll give an example. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, I think it's the generation that came, after or before me, um they were just a little bit much more superficial in that way. Like, my girl makes twice, well, I don't even want to lie, she makes 3 times as much as I do, and we don't have a problem. We've
When the
never
winter
had
chicken
I'm
dinner,
about to say you
you the
done.
man,
Yeah,
baby. You the man.
yeah, we never had a problem. I think it's really, it's always us though, Suzette. It's something
Mm-hmm.
with us,
Mm-hmm.
going back to that psychological thing
Yeah,
in our
the
community.
pain, the
Yeah, the
generational
pain, the
distrust
generational
of one another
thing.
that was taught
Yeah,
to us to fear one
yeah.
another, to think of one
Yeah,
another
I,
as
I
a
had to.
threat.
I hate to put it
Mm-hmm.
in, but she was right. Shahrazad
Mm-hmm.
Ali was always saying it, even in the
Mm-hmm.
'90s, that you know. Well, she was. I think she was saying in the '80s. I wasn't even born yet when I first saw that. That was pretty funny. I was watching on YouTube the other day. I was like, man, I wasn't even born yet. But I was
But
like,
it's some deep stuff though. Yeah.
yeah, it's some really deep stuff. Yeah, but I was watching her, and she was like, yeah, other women from different races, they tend not to have much more psychological,
Trauma, that
trauma. Yeah,
pain.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah. Yeah.
sisters,
Yeah.
our sisters, that's why I don't condone all that degrading black women thing, and insulting them and stuff like that, because I know that we do have that in our community. So, but yeah, I think it's us. Like I said, I
You're
was
like,
telling, I was confused. I was when I was listening to Dr. Thunder, and I love Dr. Thunder, but I
yeah.
was like, nah, I don't. I've been with my girl for a long time. We never even talked about money before. Like, it's never even been a conversation, and like never, like
We
literally
getting
never been a
some.
conversation.
Wow, that's so interesting. You're about to marry
Yeah,
somebody, or at least engaged, and y'all haven't had deep, deep money talk. But when it comes to, I think within the black community,
never.
that's like the first thing, what you make, how you make it, and all that. Interesting. Thank you
And
for sharing.
and real quick to Ace Love, I saw your text. Like, can I show the stat where 80% of women, black women, go after 20% of men? That stat's not for black women, and that was a Tinder study. Was one that
Oh,
was
it's
the
on
biggest
Tinder.
one.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
Tinder would see who women found attractive. So 80% of men found 80 to 90% of women found that 80% of men were unattractive. And
Jeez.
then there's some other studies, so that's where that came from. But it wasn't broken down by race. So and so
So
I
it was a
wasn't saying
general. It wasn't just black.
yes all
Okay.
women. I wasn't saying
So
black
Tinder
women.
based, y'all take that for what it's worth. Okay, that's cool.
But yeah,
Thanks for clarifying. Last call for insight writes, there's a stat that the younger generation doesn't like to stick around long term in jobs, hey, due to not seeing change, I guess, back in the promotions, etc. Do you think this is a relation to that with, is there is a relation to that with relationships, kind of like next best thing? You guys think that may be a pattern why people like think this is a maybe a concept of I can do better, like I would marry, let's talk about that, the perfect person for you. People want the perfect person, period. I don't know if there's enough
Yeah,
self-awareness to go around with
yeah. I
this
think I
person to
think
be a good person for you. But no, we want the
yeah.
perfect person. Are people waiting around for kind of like what last call for insight, the next best job, next best thing? There's this is a good job, but there's a better job out there for me. Do you think that also might be applicable to how many of the, I would say, call it Gen Z, might be looking at relationships? I like him, I like her, but I could do better. I've seen that a
Yeah,
lot on, especially on social
I
media.
think yeah, I think that happens. I think that's definitely a thing, Suzette, because but
Mm.
I think everybody's individual the way they think. I personally, when I was younger, even, because my grandfather, he was around to raise me a lot, and he told me, even when I was coming up, he was like, hey, don't marry anybody beneath you. That's a thing, and especially where I come from, that's a big deal. Like, I have Nigerian and Ghanaian roots. We don't marry anything below us. Like, I can't do that.
My
Like, that's a thing.
Africans,
Like,
my African brothers, they don't
yeah,
play.
I can't do that. I can't. When we if we went to, like, here's the thing. I was at Princeton. I can't marry. It was even a conversation, like,
You
I
can't
wouldn't
marry
even
nobody
marry a
from a
girl.
state
A
school.
state school, yeah, that's a thing. Like, I hate to say it, but that was a real
I
thing. Like, hey,
know.
yeah, I gotta check. I gotta check. I remember going on this. I remember going on a date when I was my junior year, and the girl, like, we met and we're kind of having a conversation. She was like, yeah, blah blah blah. I went to Rowan, and I was like, ew, what? You went to a state school? I was looking at her. I was like, what'd you just say?
so
Lord
Like, I was
so
like, nah,
God.
but
I'm
so
cool.
so how does
I'm
that
cool,
work?
bro.
So let's say you went to a state school, but you were really smart with your investments. You got into crypto early as a female, and now you're worth 10 million. is she still like beneath you?
No, no,
No, he
definitely
couldn't
not.
marry nobody from a state school. Do you hear that? No, they have to have
No.
No, no. So
Ivy
you're
pedigree.
saying no, you no matter how much, but how much she made the upside, you still wouldn't be able to marry her because she went to a state school or she didn't go to college at all. Am I hearing that correctly?
I would say that depending on how the situation is, I'll give you an example of it. Let me give you an example. We were kind of influenced to marry amongst ourselves. So it's like, all right, if I look on campus and the girls at Princeton ain't that pretty, I'm still gonna go back to Notre Dame and marry a girl there because I know that there's generational wealth on my side and her side at the same time. I'm
Yeah.
Okay.
not marrying. Yeah, I'm not even
Okay.
like, yeah.
You
If a
see,
girl tells me if a
mhm.
girl tells me she makes $100,000 a year, I still think that's the bottom. Like where that was just the way that we were when we was coming up. So yeah, it's not. It
It's a
does make
different
sense
mindset
though.
deal. I was gonna add,
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt, J
yeah.
Bones. Like there was I think it was an economics teacher at the Wharton School, the
Wharton
one of the
Business
top
School.
business schools in the
Yeah.
country. And in her class of, I think it was her grad students, she asked them what they thought the average income of America was, and they said 100,000.
Hmm.
So there's a different mentality of people, like minimum wage or something. So it was like a crazy question like that, and they said 100,000. So when you come from families that think that that is the bottom, there's no concept of $10 an
Yeah.
hour. There's no concept of $15 an hour. It's scary because it's out of touch. That's why when she published it, I think it was on Twitter. Did you hear about this, Shay Bones? She put it out there, and it was very like people were like, she's like, this is what I found, and I don't know what to make of it because these are going to be the top business leaders in 10 years, not even. And they
I saw
think,
that. I
yeah,
saw
it was
that.
very eye
Yeah.
opening. But yeah, when it comes to Ivies, this is why I remember with the college admission scam. That's why they will fight and cheat
Yeah.
to get their kids into a certain college to get around the certain socioeconomic level. So no matter who they marry, the likelihood is just because you got into that school, you're within a certain bracket. And my child will likely keep my legacy intact because they're not going to meet some crazy person, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to mute you, J Bones. You all right? Sorry. All right.
Yeah.
Miss AKA says, go ahead, DL. You want to add anything?
Well, I agree with you, and again, that's where we've been left behind as a community. Like we can't even get together, so we can't even begin to talk about that because in our community we're left behind. And like in Miss AK, you were about to read her
Yeah, sorry. I
her
was
chat.
jumping ahead because I know I
Yeah,
stayed here. Yeah, I'm
but
not
even
hollering
her,
at
I ain't
fried
mad
milk.
at her. Yeah, I ain't mad at her. I mean, it is what it is. Like you have to plan it out, but we have to admit it hurts
Mhm.
women, like especially black women, because you're making more than black men
I don't think it hurts that
on
much
average.
though.
It,
There are a lot of people that accept that and don't mind that. My two guests from last Sunday, Millennial Marriage, both share that they both made more than their husbands and that they're happy. Like,
is that the minority or is that the majority? I would argue that's the minority.
I don't know. I would have to get the evidence. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Most
know.
sisters are not. Yeah. Most sisters aren't doing that. They not doing that.
Y'all like,
I'm
let me tell
sorry.
you, Sue.
Yeah.
You
Most sisters
might,
ain't
but
doing
ain't
that.
nobody else doing that. Andre says, I can't
Nobody
wait to
else is
get
doing
married.
that. They're
Oh
a special
Lord.
breed.
You're like, let me tell you. Okay, thanks, reality check. Thanks, guys. The EVH Black Show says women are now handling the protection provision and parental investment on their own. So now they can't find a suitable man. They that's how they are becoming the man they want. Okay, thank you. Going back to that.
Absolutely, and the protection they're getting are from other men. Society is protecting them. So you just call 911 if there's a problem. If you go to court, right? And I'm not making a statement here, but it's so easy for a woman who's mad at you to just make certain statements, and the police is on you in a heartbeat, and it can end in a very horrible manner. And then we find out the statement was not necessarily true. But that's where the protection is coming from. So yeah, you don't need a man in the Western world. You need one in Mexico. You need one in
Oh
certain
no,
parts
you
of
need one
Africa.
in parts of Jamaica too.
Right, right. But
Depends. No, my cousin always tell me that. One of my hood Jamaican cousins. Shout out to the hood side of everybody's families.
bah, 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 bah,
Um,
bah.
yeah, that's that different side of Jamaica. But she always say that. She would be like, "You see how you girl? You don't need man. Me need man." Like, and I hear her from the struggle, from the street, from more poverty, from that side. Like, they see relationships with men as essential for their survival, and it's a different way we were raised, et cetera, et cetera. And I agree with her. I think there are a lot more um, necessity in different cultures for that reason. Whiskey earn with the big 50 on the super chat. Thank you. Thanks for this. DL Saint with the soundboard. Thank you, sir. That's next. The most masculine man, he says, in the room is the alpha. By contrast, if an alpha female existed, it would be the most feminine, all caps, woman in the room. The most masculine woman in the room is just a masculine woman. Whoa. Ladies, we are not the same. Let me digest that. Do y'all agree with this statement?
Absolutely, that's real talk. You know what I mean? And kind of whenever I use somebody's term, I have to shout out the name. And I'm sorry, but hey, shout out to Myron Gaines, right? Only a king can make a queen. There's no such thing as a high value woman unless she's co-signed by a high value man. And I have to agree with that because what he just said right there. You could be as masculine as you want to be, but if you're dealing with top tier people, they ain't messing with you. Right? The Queen of England is the queen because her father made her so. She wasn't born into that. In fact, if he had a, like she had a, if he had a son who was able to take the throne, he would have taken the son would have taken the throne.
Well, he didn't. He had a daughter.
He had a daughter, and the king made her. The king made her the queen. So a king can make Cinderella, a peasant, a queen, but a queen won't look a poor man's way. Again, shout out to Myron Gaines. That's the stuff that they talk about, and it's hard to hear, but you just gotta sit with it for a moment and think about it. I think the most alpha woman, will be definitely feminine. It's hard to do that, to be submissive. People hate that word, submissive.
I want to do a whole show on submission. I saw a lady online today that just friended me, and she calls herself the soul tie coach. I was like, let me look. She had a post about submission. I'm like, that's what I would love to talk to her about.
Submission is probably the hardest thing.
This negative idea about submission.
It takes so much courage and power to submit.
Jeez.
When I was a soldier, I had to submit to the rule of, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. I was a government issue. I had to submit to that. Right. So I don't understand, ladies, why submission is a bad thing. If you have the best guy, this is the best guy for you. He is your king. Why wouldn't you want to submit to him? Why are you trying to run him? And for some people, it works. But I'm just saying.
So what is the y'all see? This is what I love about putting out surveys because I'm getting them even while I'm listening to you guys. So Edu Zulu just wrote before under my survey. Y'all go vote on the community tab. Is marriage dead? The comment is there's two. Ted Tillman writes, in the United States, marriage is not feasible for a man with resources. Edu Zulu writes, yes, to females with 304 and feminist mindset. Men aren't settling. What do you think about, especially the latter? I don't know if I understand what this means. Yes, to females with 304 and feminist mindset.
So 304 with the old school beepers back in the day. If you type 304 and turn the beeper upside down.
Yeah, that's what.
So that's I go ahead,
I'm
brother.
not hip with the lingos. Okay.
Suzette was actually reading it. Suzette read it like it's a number.
Oh, 304.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought I was gonna tell me some code. I didn't know what that meant. And then feminist mindset. So is it a case where men are not just fearful, they quote aren't settling?
I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
No one's settling. So. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I believe so, 100%. Especially now. I mean, I don't want to speak across the board for all men, like from the different side of the I guess different races. But I say for a lot of the brothers, if you're doing really well, a lot of that nonsense is kind of out the window now. Like if you're really, especially with now that we do have a sizable amount of brothers who are actually really doing well, all that extra garbage and finger snapping and all that head twisting and neck twisting and all that extra attitude. No.
Did that actually happen to you, J Bones?
It happened to what black man didn't it happen to? What brother that didn't get that treatment? What brother didn't get that treatment? Yeah, we all grew up around each other. Yeah, we all grew up around each other. But it's like Yeah, that's most the information was not out there, Suzette, when we were coming up, but now everybody's kind of everybody's getting the information. Everybody's seeing that, man, that dude over there, he took it out. Like, I've seen it before in real life. Like, my brother in front of me, Eric, he went to Princeton, and he basically got divorced, and I saw what he went through when he got divorced. Like, he went from having a lot, and then basically he's moving back into the basement. So that thing is, it's true. It's, you can go from being up there to basically being right back into the basement with, once the judge bangs the gavel, your whole life can just turn 360. So we're
And
kind of looking at that
destroy.
situation
Yeah.
now. Yeah, you're looking at that situation, especially with men now, because we have to build ourselves and keep building and working hard, and all the sacrifice, sleepless nights. And then when you get to the top and you put a ring on someone's finger, next thing things don't go well. 80%, or is it 82 or 85 or something like that, percent of women initiate divorces. So if they're ones initiating divorce, you're looking at it like, wait, hold on, maybe this ain't maybe this ain't for me. Maybe. And then you're looking around, it's like, oh, he took it out. His bank account went from 500,000 to 50,000 after the divorce. So you're looking at the situation like, nah, I'm not walking into that cage. It's not just gonna happen.
Yeah, and there's a study out there, and this is the one study I didn't get, but I'll send it to you later. Uh, the most unhappy demographic in America is a woman over 40 who makes over six figures and is childless.
Who said that?
I got to get you the stats, but and I believe this was derived from the amount, that they did a study on who's taking what drugs and who were getting
Oh,
prescribed
antidepressants and all that stuff. A
antidepressants.
lot of Americans are taking
And,
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
yes, but they were looking at those numbers, and I will definitely get
I
back to
love
you on
that,
that
and I
study
like the breakdown of race
if
with
we can
that.
find it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though. Where do women derive their fulfillment and happiness? And there are those that say having kids, being a mom. And if you're out there, you
Different
fight,
women derive it different ways, but I hear you. I'm not disputing what you just said. Go
right?
ahead.
Because the same demographic of women who have kids in the family aren't as depressed if you look at the numbers.
You got to give me some numbers on that. You got to
I
give me
would I
some
definitely get,
numbers.
and I
Yeah,
apologize for not having that because I didn't think about
no,
it till
I
just
think it's
now. And I'm
food
like,
for thought. I think it's kind of dangerous to say no one can be happy if they don't have kids. I don't know that I agree with that.
didn't say that. Didn't say
No,
that.
I know
Just
you didn't,
saying,
but I'm okay.
yeah.
Let me just parse it. Let me parse it a little bit more. The most unhappy being. I'm gonna have to see it. I'm gonna have to see it so I can actually see what the information is showing. Y'all, we talking about is marriage dead? But I have a brother on the panel. J Bone's about to get married, so clearly marriage is not dead. He is marrying into another culture. He's not marrying a black woman. No, no shade. That's the other thing I could not stand hearing about our Supreme Court nominee, Ketanji Brown Jackson, is that people were mad that her husband isn't black. I think
You,
love finds you. I love black love. Don't get me wrong. I want black love. But if God send me somebody of a different persuasion, I'm probably gonna be a little bit mad, but I'm gonna take that love.
yeah, don't,
And I think
yeah,
God has a funny sense of humor sometimes, and will send you what you least expect.
yeah, and
When I
don't let
think,
that bug you too much. That hearing because you knew whoever was going to catch hell because of what happened.
oh yeah,
So yeah, you know what I mean.
it still made me upset, but I wasn't emotional. I was more so like, this is not.
Smoke and
They wouldn't
mirrors.
do a white man like this.
They did. That's my whole point. They
Oh, you talking
did.
about like Kavanaugh?
Yeah, Kavanaugh went through it, and this is I would say that this is payback for that because
That's I
she's
think so too. I think it
it's
was like
payback for that. No
for
matter
from
who
the
it was
get
going to
go.
be, yeah, it's
Kavanaugh
payback for that.
was done wrong. I agree with that. I agree. I think it was still distasteful, some of it, but anyway.
Absolutely, it's smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fight this.
and made the
Yeah,
headlines, and people wrote me and was like, "Well, she's weak on predator." No, she's not
but
actually.
let's get you off the topic before you start
Sorry,
doing
I'll
this.
go there again. I'll go there again. Sorry, J Folks, you can chime in if you want. The link has been dropped, y'all. Y'all can come up if you want to come up, come say something. Let me know what you feel about whether marriage is dead. So, what can we do? I want solutions. Would you get married, DL, with all the risks that we've been talking about?
Not in the West. No. If I were to get married, I would go to some other country.
Fiji?
Colombia, maybe the Sudan, maybe parts of Africa,
Lord God, not no
parts.
part of
Oh,
America.
DL,
Yeah,
DL is willing to fly into a war-torn country while the bullets are flying, so he could
That's
find
what
out.
I'm like.
exactly.
Is my wife here? Has anybody seen this special
Yeah, all this in the
That's not
background.
funny.
watching?
Stop. I'm not laughing.
Yeah,
Baby,
That's not
you
funny.
hear that in the
DL,
background? I'll be ducking.
yeah, that's
That's not funny.
Like I do
DL.
serve
I
and
mean,
protect.
everybody. I would tell everybody's evacuating Ukraine, but DL is actually heading there. He's
I'm
actually
going.
going to the airport, going
But
to
Yeah,
Ukraine.
say, let me see who I can
Vladimir,
find.
but here's
yeah,
the thing. I'm
Vladimir.
not saying.
Who?
Y'all
Yeah,
crazy. Y'all,
I'm not
I'm not
saying
laughing
I'm.
at that. War is serious, but y'all crazy. Y'all
I'm not saying I will go there looking for a woman. I'm saying I would take my woman there to get married under their laws. I'm not trying to
Oh,
marry
under
into.
U.S. law.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking
Mm.
about. I'm
I'm
not
finna
trying
say,
to.
then you can't find one American woman. You finna go to war-torn Sarajevo and some of these places because you
yeah.
don't want to trust or
It's
believe
happening.
in we can be
Yeah,
equal partners. But you're saying I want to marry in Germany. My marriage license to be German.
I want to marry in a country that's more forgiving. It's just like in the States. If you're gonna get divorced and you're a man, you want to get divorced in Texas, right?
Mm.
yeah.
It's one of those things. You want to put yourself in a situation where you don't get hurt as much,
Hey,
and people.
Lamont, excuse me. Can I see you? Show me your face in the back, and then you can stay uh faceless, Lamont. I just need to know that you're not a bot or somebody crazy. Okay, just show me your face in the back. I won't put you up until your face is covered, and you can come up. Sorry, DL. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's all good, but you have to protect yourself in a sense. And here's the thing: if 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 I'm talking to a woman, like at my point in life, everything I'm doing now, I'm doing for my child. Like I threw the watch up. You know what? This is her watch. I get a watch collection. Real estate holdings and whatever else I have my portfolio. That's all for my daughter. I don't want to jeopardize that, right? Because I'm trying to be happy or I'm trying to live up to that Disney fairy tale mentality. No, I want to protect my daughter's future. So if I meet someone and we hit it off and it's like, okay, let's go to Colombia and get married. I got property down there. Let's stay down here for 6 months, right?
Yes,
Let's
yes. That
do
is
that.
true.
And then I can
That is
come
true.
home or whatever, but we're going to keep coming back to Colombia. We're going to be right here in Medellin. You know what I mean? In Poblado, having a good old time. But if she decides she wants to break that contract, fine. She ain't getting a dime.
Oh
Yeah, I
wow! So
gotta
that's a
let me
safety
back
net.
him
Go
up.
ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, DL, let me back. I have actually I have a friend that we went to school together, and when we were seniors, he was actually a freshman, and he's actually getting married too. And he went down to Colombia. He was actually studying down there. He met a girl, and
He met
they
a few.
actually, yeah, he met he met a few. He was in he was in Cartagena. He met a girl at the one of the universities. They started, mingling, and he's getting married to her. And the first thing I told him, I'm like, hey, you got to watch out for the laws. You got to see if, because, when you're down there, you have to make sure that you're not going to get ripped off. So I was telling him, I'm like, hey, you're going to have to check this out, check that out, check this out. Make sure you back yourself before something bad happens. So I actually introduced him. I put him on a phone with my girlfriend. She's a corporate lawyer. So she knows the ins and outs of certain things. And
You the
she
man,
was like,
bro.
all right,
Write a book. Write a book,
yeah,
brother.
yeah,
Listen,
you
you
gotta,
have any
brothers gotta watch out.
older cousins? What's up, J Bones?
Brothers got to look out for each other because it's really tough now. A lot of us, you make this income, and next thing you know, you back right to
Gone.
zero again. Yeah, you got to be careful.
Mhm.
So, she was explaining to him about international law. What she could do to him, what could happen, how she could finesse the game, how she could do this, how she could do that. So she actually, it was kind of funny. I was sitting there watching her talk, and I was like, I didn't know. I didn't know all this stuff. I was like, I know it was that serious. She was like, yeah. She told me she was talking about a story in the Dominican Republic where some dude went there, got married, and it didn't work out. So he was like, I'm gonna just bounce right back to Chicago. Next thing you know, they were actually filing a
In
child support
Chicago.
situation in Chicago.
Baby, I would have
Yes,
found you. I would have served you.
she went to the U.S. Embassy, had them find a lawyer in Chicago, found the paperwork, and basically put in a judge. And next thing you know, he was paying child support from Chicago all the way down to the Dominican Republic. Yes, it does happen. You got to get ready. A lot of these brothers, a lot of these passport bros, they think that just because you go to a different country, you're good to go. No, you're not. You're not good to go. It can find you. You have an American passport. It could go this way or it can go
You've
that
been
way.
served.
Hey,
100%.
maybe
I don't
maybe
mean
you
to
should
laugh,
have
but it's real. That's
maybe
definitely
you sh-
not when I see it all, even on that good point, J Bones, on all these channels about get your passport. I'm like, y'all think that alleviates a lot?
Yep.
You're
They
not a
really do.
resident of that country. You're still coming back to reside in the United States.
Exactly.
well
Sorry, come back, Mr. Lamont. I was just getting to you. Oh
Yeah.
no, I know he was driving though,
yeah, he
so
probably
he can come back. I'll get right
maybe
to you. But
yeah,
good
may
point.
I was gonna say maybe you need multiple passports and it's legal. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. I was actually explaining to him, like, hey, I got 5 passports. I know exactly how this thing works.
Shout out to
Yeah,
the Ivies.
yeah.
Shout out to the
I have
Ivies.
five. I have 5 passports. I know exactly how this thing works.
Wait,
Five
you're like
passports.
actually.
Yeah,
Completely
it's
Hold
not.
legal.
up. Let me
Yeah,
bring
FBI
this brother
completely.
completely
up.
legal.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Excuse me. Let me
completely
bring this brother
legalized.
up before I lose him again.
All
Sorry.
right.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. I
No, I thought
fumbling
you
with.
were mad because I was making you wait. I'm sorry.
Oh no. I was fumbling with my phone. I'm don't worry about it. You're good. How's
Well,
everybody
welcome
this evening?
Lamont 2X.
Thank you.
Nice
How's
to have
everybody?
you.
Outstanding.
And what are your
Uh
thoughts?
oh, okay. And I apologize. This is going to be a little jaded after a 13-year marriage and a 5.5-year divorce. So I hate to preface it with that,
I already know.
but
Last call for
okay. I
insight.
tell
Come back.
my advice.
Yes.
My say what?
No, sorry. Last call for insight.
Oh,
Jumped
okay.
back up. I was telling him to stay. But
Okay.
go ahead. Sorry, sir, for interrupting. Go ahead.
All right. My advice to not only my two sons but to any American man is to don't even. I mean, I wish I would have known about you having this show because I got some research. I would have preferred to have it handy, but at
Mm-hmm.
present the marriage rates they're through the floor. I think I forgot how they actually. I think it's per every 1,000 couples or something to that effect. They have a kind of a peculiar way to do it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think for about the past 100 to 150 years, they've been keeping this same stat, and the marriage rate it's never been lower.
Mm-hmm.
My advice to any man is do not get married until the laws actually change. I'm not a big proponent of no fault divorce.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
1970, Ronald Reagan as the
The
governor of
switch.
California, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as the governor of California, instituted no fault divorce. California was the first state. And subsequently, in his son's autobiography, he said that his father admitted to him that that was the biggest regret of his political career, because with one stroke of a pen, he essentially ruined or destroyed the marriage contract. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now a couple things must change, before I would advise anybody to get married. Okay, I don't necessarily have a problem with the concept or the idea of no fault divorce, but why someone would sign a contract that had no terms and conditions, that seems rather foolish to me, but have at it. But an option should be the fault contract. Arizona, I believe, has something called a covenant marriage, which is essentially the fault. The original, I guess, you needed cause, you need justification to break up a household. They're and you can additionally, you can customize, you can create your own marriage agreement. So the default can't be set at no fault divorce. The whole way there's a lot of things I could probably put on a clinic. In all honesty, a lot of things that are actually wrong with what happens in divorce.
Can I get in your business?
Go for it.
Why did you get divorced?
I mean, a 13-year marriage. In all honesty, for the 2 years before we had got divorced, I was actually unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
I have a master's degree, and it's like at the time I wouldn't. I mean, I probably wouldn't have done it the way that I did it looking back. But she put out, to her credit, she carried the financial weight for the family for 2 years, and undoubtedly she got tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's that's kind of where the in sickness and in health for Richard report. What happened to that? I'm
Okay.
not saying that, with the exception of, the financial part,
Hmm.
it was, typical marriage, there's ups and downs and everything. But
Absolutely.
what transpired, after that was in no way, was it just, was it fair? And I have a divorce decree that most men would kill for.
Okay. Fairly.
In all honesty, I know men that had essentially got clobbered. And if you want to do some research, just research the suicide rate of for men that actually go through
Yeah,
a
we
you know
mentioned
a,
that earlier.
yeah
Yes, sir. Mm.
a divorce that is drawn out. It's in no way healthy for children. That's uh, hardly ever mentioned. But what this does to children, it's insane that. It's what I feel to be the largest civil rights issue since the civil rights movement. I mean, it's essentially, half the population is being treated as second class citizens. Men,
Mm.
men, men do not is we do not have the same rights in the eyes of a divorce court, um, in the eyes of a judge as women do. I mean, at present, I believe that the split right now for custody decisions is like 85%, and even at 15, that last 15%, at 85% of the time, custody awards are awarded to mother, and even that 15% is not even quite accurate, because of that remaining 15%, only 7% of the time, um, are, if it is contested, are men awarded custody. That other
So,
seven and a
hmm
half percent, people mutually agree.
hmm so let me
So,
ask you this. So I asked you about the worst moment and what caused it.
mhm.
Did you have, when it was good, any joy from your marriage?
Well, of course. I mean, we were married for 13 years.
So what tell me about the joy? Cause we hear the bad. What was the good?
I mean, we were like I said, we were together for 13 years. I mean, a marriage. I'm 51 years old. I'm used to. My parents were together. They're still together. I would say that Generation X, we still can envision your parents being together. For their whole life. Now, looking back, and let truth be told, we all know some relationships that people probably should have left. Now, I'm not telling anybody to be taken advantage of. I'm not telling anybody to, be the target of abuse. But in this current society, people are so quick to pull the trigger on divorce and pull the plug on their marriage. Nobody. I mean, you're afraid to come home, and you forgot to take out the trash, or didn't, uh, do the
Yeah.
dishes, and somebody wants to file for divorce. And a lot of the things that I've heard you guys talking about is just just the reason why I guess people try to go find marriage or love in other countries is because in other countries, they're women, they people are still more likely to to weather the storm, to to go through the ups and downs, uh
Unity
the,
minded.
the
Unity.
normal. Oh, well,
Yeah.
but people actually still put stake in the covenant part of a marriage.
Hmm.
I mean, short of somebody trying to kill you, or
Do something
you know
crazy.
yeah, I mean, but not just because
Yeah.
you just simply just falling out of love. That doesn't happen. That didn't happen to you know I guess the baby boomers, but it's
Yeah.
certainly happening now.
So, Mr. Lamont, let me pause you for a moment. I start talking about divorce, and guess who come up?
Lead attorney.
Lead attorney.
Oh,
I'm
snap.
in your ball court today, sir, talking about marriage. Is marriage dead? And we're obviously talking about the risks. And I keep hearing this go, being said throughout. Men have so much more to lose. Laws are unfair. I see last call for insight just came up as well. Yeah, when I get emotional, I'm gonna ask you a little something, but I still am Mr. And last call for insight, I'm gonna catch you right now. Mr. Lamont, tell me the top three benefits of what was good about your marriage or marriage in general as you see it for men.
Well, I mean, I'm a traditionalist. I would consider myself a Christian. I mean, uh, the design of man and woman, uh, spiritually and scripturally, is for us to be together. And you know, it, um, there's a lot of work that Black people need to do. And I'm pro Black on Black love. Um, it's it's give and take. A lot of guys like the point, I consider myself a men's rights advocate, but a lot of guys, they're doing a lot of finger pointing, right? And those other three fingers are pointing back at you. Are you doing the things that
That's what I'm saying, Mr. Lamont. Mr. Lamont, you ain't told me no good thing yet.
just simply about the relationship? I mean, she was my friend. I mean,
I'm like, dang,
we
did he not? It
my
hurts.
bad. I mean, I'm
We
I'm
like,
spiritual.
so
I
he
mean,
didn't
that's
have nothing
see
else to
a lot of the things like with relationships, it's not always going to be peaches and cream. I mean, so it's not really,
No,
we
so
I
you
believe
have
I
to
believe that
understand there's
we
good and bad. But
I
I
believe
just
that
wanted
I
to ask
believe
you
that
about the
we
good.
I believe that we genuinely loved each other, but I think that the ease with which that somebody can get a divorce played a very large part in what happened to our relationship.
I
Right.
got three for
Okay.
you,
Thank you. I'm gonna get
Suzette.
last call inside
Okay.
involved.
I wrote them down. When you're ready, I got three good things. When you're ready, I wrote them
Oh,
down.
you got three good things. Okay, because I'm like, I heard that hurt because you know what I hear in you, Mr. Lamont, and not to like diagnose you, but maybe the
Mhm.
divorce hurt so bad. There's so much, residue from the negative that did end, that 5 years of divorce, that maybe it is difficult to speak of the sweetness and the goodness of that same person. You understand? I don't know.
Yeah, I believe there's
It hurts. I hear it.
I believe that there's a modicum of truth to that. I'm
Mm,
not.
okay. I hear it.
I'm
I hear it.
being
All right.
honest. I'm being, yeah.
No, it's love, but I'm just
Uh,
like, okay, I hear that.
I
You're
mean,
you're
it is what it is. You're talking about
yeah.
somebody's children, and I spent in excess of $100,000. We purchased a house that was 280. That's on the market right now for 680. So I mean, it was pretty devastating.
Okay. I'm gonna go over to our new guest. Thank you, Mr. Lamont.
Okay.
Lamont 2X in the building. Last call for insight. How are you? I haven't seen you up here.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, nice to have you. How you
Y-
doing?
I'm doing fine, and I appreciate you having me. I didn't mean to intrude. I just wanted to pass that information on
Yeah, I saw
to.
you dropped the article. I was gonna ask you, tell the folks, don't just tell me. Tell the folks what article you found and what was basically the gist of it.
In regards to the article, was basically how he explained, and in there was demographics as far as salary and male and female, and again, as he had mentioned, those women who were in the six-figure category were unfortunately noted to be the least happy out of all groups.
Oh, that's the study. Drop it in the chat. Wow. So you found the study.
Yes, I did.
Please drop it in the chat. Share it with everyone so we can read it. Thank you. I didn't get a chance because I'm like in the middle of listening and clicking and looking at the chat. I wouldn't be able to open it. So please share it in the chat. Last call for insight found the article DL was referencing about happiness rates being the lowest among women over 40 with no marriage or kids.
And making
Yikes.
over six figures and making
Making over
money.
6 figures. Okay, Lord. Okay.
Alpha women.
So I want to read it. I don't have any comment on it yet, but drop it in the chat, please. Go ahead, DL. You want to add something, please?
Well, yeah. Well, two quick things. Is there someone said something about a prenup, right? Is there a such thing as a tight prenup? And that's you guys are attorneys. I would argue no. And if it is, how much would that cost? I just wanted to throw it out there, food for thought, just food for thought.
That's
But
Lee. Lee, you can come up here and talk about
yeah,
that. But go ahead.
yeah, pin that. Somebody ask him and then let us know. But you wanted three. You wanted three good things. I've never been married.
Three good things about
Wanted,
marriage. Four men.
I, I'll give you
Four
three.
men.
I'll
Let's
give you
go.
three. Number one, companionship.
Mm.
Right? No one wants to grow old alone and die. Right? Die alone. Right? Number two, financial freedom, and what I mean by that is the ability to not only create wealth but create generational wealth. Like take care of your immediate family and then your children and your children's children. Right? So that's number two. For that, and number three, if you have the first two things, peace of mind. Right? And again, I'm in the dream world right now. I'm in two perfect people in a perfect relationship. You get peace of mind. So that would be the three things why I would consider,
Okay, so
getting
we got
married.
some evidence of what men get, what people are
What
like.
this guy, would want. That's just the
So
three things.
companionship, legacy, and peace of mind.
Now I got a phone book worth of reasons why not to get married right here. We won't get into that.
Thank you, Mr. Lamont. Ms. Lamont say I'm out. But good insight, sir. Thank you. And thank you for sharing your experience because it hurts. It's real. That's what people are trying to avoid at all costs. But I'm like, are we negating the possibility of the upside, because people have these terrible stories and they're real. They're real life experience where they, lost everything, lost the sense of security you talking about, lost the sense of legacy you talking about, lost the sense of companionship you're talking about. So to have it and to lose it is terrible. You want to add something, J Bones, or last call for insight?
Yeah. I was shout out to DL for saying that. I really appreciate it because there is such a yeah, we've seen what's going on. We've kind of noticed with the numbers and everything that's happening with the marriage rates and stuff like that. But you still have to have a. There's a lot of poison within the system, Suzette. There's a lot of poison, but people still don't understand. Like you should still try the best that you can to basically find the best woman to settle down with. I'm saying everybody has their own thing, and a lot of the brothers is like, nah, I'm not gonna get married. I was listening to Kevin Samuels the other day, and Kevin said that, and I'm like, hey, half of y'all, a lot of y'all didn't grow up with no fathers, and you guys just have no backbone. I can tell that you guys just be saying stuff just to say it. Exactly. Yeah. Like I was really
shots fired.
yeah,
Wow.
definitely shots fired. Yeah, a lot of
Right.
those brothers are just saying stuff just to say it. Kevin said, and I'm like, okay, well, what did your daddy say? That's what I want to find out. My father told me that it's a great thing. If you have the right woman, a lot of things work out very well.
I
I've
agree with
seen
that.
it. Like I've seen plenty. I grew up with my parents and my uncle right across the street. My uncle and my aunt, they was just kissing each other, running around in the yard all day, hugging. And I saw that when I was a young, so I was like, man, I really wanted that. Like I was like, I can't wait. Like I really can't wait. Even being in my 20s now, I can't wait to be a father. Like I think I'm just gonna be the greatest father in the world. Like I'm gonna be the best father of all time. Like the baby's not here. I don't
Yo,
know what
kids
his
gonna be
name's
in
gonna be or what
Ivies.
her.
They not gonna marry them.
Yeah,
No, man,
I
I'm
gotta.
proud of you. That's a bit that for you to
Yeah,
say it and see the benefit means a lot. Means a lot.
yeah.
But
I
look,
have I have the
that's the
game plan
upper
set up.
scale mindset.
Yeah, yeah. I have the
Black
game
or
plan already
white.
set up. True. Yeah, I have the game plan completely set up. I have no idea. A lot of the brothers just want to be defined. Just I'm not gonna get married. I'm just gonna be around. Remember one thing too. A lot of people don't know. If you kind of decline to get married, there are some stats that are very kind of it's very kind of scary to watch. Most brothers or most, especially with us as black men, a lot of black men that don't get married, they end up dying early. I'm pretty sure we can all focus on the idea that dying early is not a good
Listen,
thing.
they talk about
Yeah,
women not benefiting because we don't have a
yeah,
husband. Men lose out when they don't have a wife. Just
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
or,
So
or
don't
significant other. Significant other. I mean,
Okay,
significant other.
I'm
Yeah,
saying we
at
were
least
talking about heteronormative, quote unquote.
yeah,
But yes, significant
at least
other.
have
Oh, you talking
at
about
least
a
have a
living
partner, at
lady? Is that what
least
you?
companionship. Yeah,
yeah, but here's the thing though, and it's not. It's just you know, it's such a risk. If I don't have, like, we're talking about the brothers who don't have anything, and I agree with you. I agree with you, brother. There are guys out there who just get mad. They might fall in that 80% that don't really get sexual access. They don't know how to talk to women. They don't have they don't have any real game. They're not socially aware, right? They're out there making. We're talking
They're
about
not
black guys.
666. They're
They're
not.
not. They're 5'8", right? They make about $50,000 a year or less,
And they're good men.
and they're good men, but they're frustrated,
excellent
right?
man.
They're
Yeah,
frustrated because the girl on fries next to him won't even look his way, right? Because DL Saint done pulled up in the drive-through, was like, "What's up, shawty?" And she gone, and he's
she
stuck
gone.
there. Right now, he on fries and flipping the burgers. Right, he mad. He going home to you know what I mean. Going home to an
Yeah,
empty house. It's a mess. Right, and why are we dying early? Because there's no woman there to say, "Baby, get that lump looked at." Right? Because men are like, I'll be all right, bro. I'm some dirt on it. I'll be fine. And then he take 15 steps and he falls down. He's gone.
Yeah,
So but
yeah.
your woman's gonna be like, nah, get that looked at. We got a doctor's appointment. We got this. We got that. Right? We are far better together than we are apart.
together.
And the
Yeah,
proof is in the failure of our community. It's been decimated. So, I mean, everybody in the chat, good or bad, if you hate what I say, if you like what I say, just think about what I'm saying. Think about where you came from. I'm talking about the hood folks. Think about where we are. It's time to break the cycle. Yeah, I would absolutely get married, right? But I'm not doing it And somebody said in the chat like, well, Colombia's in the West. Yeah, but it's a second world. I'm not going to do it in a first world country. You know what I mean? Like the U.S., Canada. You know what I mean? Australia, the U.K. I'm not going to do it in the first world country. I'm not trying to marry government. I'm trying to marry this woman that I love. Right? Let's do that. Let's try that. Right? Because I can't have peace if I'm worried about my significant other changing her mind because she's mad at me because that's like, no, I'm not comfortable with you going on girls' night out or you going on a girls' trip to Tulum. I'm not comfortable with that. Now you're like, well, I'm going to leave you. And not only am I'm going to break this contract, but I'm going to get half the stuff. And if we have kids, I'm going to use the kid as a pawn. I'm not saying every woman to do that, but we all know this goes on. So how can I be peaceful when I'm thinking about that? We have to deal with the situation on the ground. We need to break the cycle. And how do we break the cycle? Let's get smart. Let's get married somewhere else. You can try a prenup, but someone said that in the chat. Dr. Dre had a prenup, didn't he? How much did he paying? How much did he lose? You're right.
California love.
Right. Right. Did she write that? Nah. Did she come into the house?
She
right.
Walking all
day long. Like, what's up, cuz? Yeah, cuz. Drop that.
Homeboy had a stroke. He was sitting there looking at his Wells Fargo. He was looking at his Wells Fargo bank account. The way
right.
my bank account is set up, I gotta move it from the savings to the checking account.
Right. I have a stroke too. Yeah, I have a stroke too. She came in there. Yeah. She deboed him for $100 million. That's about $100 million, punk.
Hold on now.
Serve the papers at a funeral. That's some real cold stuff right there.
That's cold. What Dr. Dre talking about? I'm just gonna tuck this $100 million in. I'm just gonna tuck it in. Nah.
Well, if you were evading service, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't say that would be my first choice. But if you trying to be slick, we gonna show up there with a process server. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying if he has not been making himself available to be served.
I ain't mad at her either. It's the game. Like I said, the situation on the ground.
I wouldn't go to your funeral on purpose. If I could serve you at your house, I would. But if obviously you couldn't.
I am not mad, but people understand the situation on the ground, period. That's all I'm saying. Understand the situation on the ground, move accordingly. If it doesn't make sense to get married, don't get married to the government. Explain that to your significant other. And if she does, if she's like, look, I understand, honey, let's go to another country where the laws are more favorable to you in case this goes bad because I love you that much. Marry that woman. But if she like, how come you won't marry me here? You don't love me? How come you won't do it? Man, maybe she got something else on her mind. That's all I'm saying. Be smart about it.
Okay, last call for insight. Y'all want to get you involved. Do you have any thoughts? You want to give some feedback?
I think DL Saint actually described it perfectly. The only thing that I would like to really acknowledge is while men do have these things that they want in particular, I think some women do know, but fundamentally, men are very, very simple, okay? So really, the only things that we want is piece of chicken, piece of mind, piece of quack, quack.
And hold on now, the chicken first.
Beyond that, that's
piece
really
of
it.
Mind, you're not in these streets.
Right. So,
and a little bit of that.
I think since the majority of men are getting 2 out of those 3, then that's why it's such a tough sell for marriage.
It is a tough sell. And relationships are hard in general. I mean, people, like you said at the top of the show, people aren't prepared for how tough it is, and it's easy to get divorced. I ain't gonna lie. If I'm married to somebody and I'm unhappy, and I know if I leave this person, I'm gonna get $46,500 a month. Guess what I'm doing?
That's so unfair.
But if it's hard to get divorced, and let's say for every dollar I got in the divorce, I had to get a state $1. Maybe I'll stay at home. Like, I got to get a state as much as I done took. Maybe I'll stay married. Maybe if it's cheaper to keep her or cheaper to keep him, then you stay together.
Those be those long distance marriages, not divorces, not marriages, but not divorces. Whiskey Earn says, it's the chicken and the egg. Is marriage failing because of the negative narrative, or is the negative narrative because of the high failure rates? That's interesting. You make great points. Last call for insight. DL Hughley. Jesus. DL Saint. Where that came from? Oh, Lord. Sorry. That was just a slip. Sorry, Freudian slip. DR, here we come. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Ted says, when are BM going to learn the free agent lifestyle is growing and the way to go while living in the United States? The free agent life. So that's always being free and not getting married. Is that what you're saying?
You got to check out Coach Greg Adams. I'll send you a link. That's what he's referencing, and that's another. That's a big. We'll talk about it on Saturday. I'll make sure I'll free
y'all
myself.
ready for this red pill conversation? Red pill. Should men join the red pill community Saturday at 12? Then the myths and the magic of menopause Sunday, 3 p.m. with a special guest. Andrew, I see you in the back. How you doing? Andrew, let me see the halo. What's up?
How you doing? How you doing?
Excellent. How are you, sir? Nice to see you. Now, I know you were very busy in the chat again. Thank you so much for my Patreon members. Y'all see my Patreon right there. Andrew always coming through with support. But what are your thoughts?
Well, I guess marriage would be dead in the traditional sense, but I think we've gotten too modern and selfish, like I always say. We're taught to be independent, function alone. We don't work in groups like we normally did before in the past. Technology's made us kind of stay distant. The pandemic's made us more distant. I think that we have to just, one, look at ourselves, two, come to things, treat marriage like a business. It's a union of the houses. And if you don't know your spouse, you don't know what their losses are or their advantages, well, then it's not going to work. So, if they bring in something from a sociological perspective where they can provide motivation, inspiration, that's profitable to someone that might be an entrepreneur or someone that is on the cusp of being great. Like imagine Suzette, I hate to call you out like this. If you had someone that says, okay, I'm gonna play my role, I'll hold you down, have your back, and make sure that mentally you have what you need. It's not necessarily the fiduciary thing. It's just that spiritual perspective. Mm-hmm. Well, then you'll be prosperous. Flip the roles, it doesn't matter. There are a lot of women that are rich and their husband play that role. There's a weather woman, I forget her name. It's with a Z, Ginger Z. Mm-hmm. Her husband took the back role and she's blowing up. She went from local to national when the spot opened up. Her husband says, okay, I'll take care of the kids a little bit. I'll work from home and do whatever. This era, if you got to fire, you got to go with where it was burning the hottest. So I think that has to be taken into consideration.
Meaning, which one of the marriage couple, parts of the couple, has the better opportunity to make the most money? Is that what that means?
And the other side of the coin is we have now tainted ourselves in a way that we come tainted, whether it's from overexposure emotionally, or we might have children from other marriages, relationships that didn't work. We might be set back financially because of bad choices we made when we were younger. All these things add up. We might be scarred from upbringing or just working bad hours at work. We're working
stress.
That doesn't.
You can't love nobody when you're stressed.
No, you're done. It's not. You're not even yourself. You won't recognize yourself. Like I got caught out there trying to be, working whatever work so I could make money, and then what happens is it doesn't work out, and other things happen. People stray, things happen, and it just doesn't balance out. I think that we have to focus on learning how to make time for ourselves and doing things for ourselves, and we'll be more prosperous in the long run. I mean, I like you, DL, saying I love the way you come at it from a different perspective. All you guys have really unique sights on it. Me, I just think that if I focus on what I need to do as a person, it'll come through. But then I also have to have that line where you might not, where I'm not going to go that low. But reality is, no one fully knows who you are. And in the work that I've done in life, I've seen the wealthiest people look the simplest. Only time they fix up is when it's time to show.
Yeah. But they live in a very simple life. They just, Tom and Cindy or whatever it is. So this is what I'm saying. I don't know if all the gentlemen, could you elaborate all the gentlemen individually? So traditional gender roles in marriage, let's bring it full circle as we kind of, I don't think we can tie a bow on this topic, but as we kind of start to kind of close our convo, are men seeking traditional gender roles? What you just described, Andrew, sounds like you're more open to, even though men, I keep hearing, don't calculate what a woman is making as a asset. Men who marry are richer. Was they going to be richer before, or are they richer because they're married and they have someone taking care of the home front, or a combined income? Are you guys, if you were to marry, are you looking for traditional gender roles in marriage? Can you go one by one and just let me know if you are? Go
All
ahead,
right.
Dio.
Okay. I would say this. Like I said earlier in the show, men fall hard. When men fall in love, they're in love, right?
No
And
matter
they
your
love.
money, no matter your whatever.
They love. You know what I mean? Like they actually love. So I believe a man, and we're talking about the 80%. We're not talking
I'm
about the
sorry.
top.
Pause. This is not a feminist viewpoint. Men who are married in our society have more money than single men. That's not a talking point of feminism. Men who have families have more money than people who are single on average. That isn't, I'm sorry, I had to just address that.
No,
Sorry, where were you going?
but we talked about that with that thought experiment, right?
Mm,
Take how much money you spend a month, right?
yes.
Think of that number. If you with somebody, half of that money is free now. So obviously there's more money. So I would say this. I think modern men,
Mhm.
right, especially that 80% of guy, like the average guy, the hardworking dudes, those
Mhm.
people under $100,000 a year,
Mhm.
I think they will take on any role to make that relationship work. I think especially when they love the woman, they will do anything for that woman because they want to. They'll go out. In fact, I would argue that they would even work harder. Again, shout out to Myron Gaines. They talk about this all the time. That man will work harder because he has a family now and he's going to try to better himself.
Exactly.
So, and if that means, well, my wife is making $200,000 and I'm making 50, so yeah, I'm going to stay home and raise the family. I think that guy would do that, and I think that's smart. So, but there's like, oh well, Saint, you just said you believe in traditional roles. I do. I still believe the man is the head of the household. It's a matter of submission. He's submitted to that part of the equation, right? But when the wife comes home, right, and there's some decisions have to be made, they talk about it, and I think that he should be in command. Now, again, there are relationships out there where the women absolutely make all the choices and make all the decisions and make all the money, and it works for them. It's fine. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, I think a man would absolutely not have a problem with that if that meant he got that peace, he got the relationship, he has the beautiful feminine woman.
Yeah,
But
your
it
peace of
but
mind.
but it's really hard for that to work. And the numbers prove it. And even anecdotally, we know it just doesn't work. You know what I mean? Women aren't cool with a guy that makes less than them. So I would say that. But it and I just want two more quick points. I think that the laws are going to change because women are making more money and there are more men in these relationships who are going to start getting paid alimony and or child support. And I think because of that, they're going to start changing the laws, which I think is horrible. But I'll give it a decade. I bet you
Interesting
the laws will start to
prediction.
change. And honestly, what I would do, what I would like to see, how about we just jump the broom? How about we go back to that? Because when we were slaves, we weren't married to the government, we were owned. But at least, you know what I mean? At least you had that marriage that was free of the government. How about we just do that? How about we just jump the broom? We keep the marriage to ourselves. And even in that scenario, there's common law, laws out there. You know what I mean? So
I don't want to be living with you for 20 years without protection. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be doing that.
but that's my
Because
point.
all the
But
genders have all the fun. And for 20 years, you can't put a ring on it? That's what we're going to do?
I can put a ring on it, but do I have to marry the government to marry you? That's all I'm saying. Is there something we can do where I can marry you and we keep the government out of it? That's all I'm saying. And once upon a time, we had a strong black church, right? You can do that if you're Muslim. You can do that if you're Jewish, right? But you can't do that for the rest of us.
Interesting. I'm going to jump to the gentleman on the second row. Andrew, I think you kind of said yes to this, that you would be flexible on a traditional role. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Well, no. Here's the whole thing. It depends on the situation.
Got it.
I'm just doing it from a fiscal standpoint. Yes, you got juice. You gotta get the glass. I'll drink from the cup.
Yeah.
You the pitcher. I'll drink from the cup. But the reality is just being efficient. The
Yeah.
whole point of it is to be a cohesive, functioning unit where you provide that level of balance.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's supposed to be. Marriage is supposed to be a safe haven. Whether you're in love all the time, love, like I said before, is an emotion. It goes up and down. I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm like, no, I don't want to deal with anybody right now. You're right next to me. I'm fine. Give me your space. But if you stay together and you still understand and have that companionship, that, balance where we have a goal, we want to create a legacy together. So guess what? That overshines this temporary feeling. And a lot of people don't know what love is. That's part of the problem. They don't understand what love is. And this is what society is doing it. We're taught, or even the younger ones are taught, immediate gratification. They don't work for anything. That's the problem. Relationship has to be created and maintained like a plant. If you leave a plant there, it'll dry and shrivel up. You don't put water in the fish tank, you don't feed the fish, they will die. So the relationship goes through the same thing. But because we maintain this solo action and feel like it's going to just build itself naturally, well, it's never going to work. And the other problem is, I think people spend too much dating. They do too much crap too quick. You have to earn that status. Like, people don't value themselves or time. Like, I'm
You're here with my brother, and I'm gonna go to J Bones now. He say on the second date they was at daddy house, or wherever. Was it you that said that, J Bones? And was like, what you doing with my daughter? So are you guys gonna have traditional roles, or would you be with someone if they weren't in traditional roles, J Bones? Sorry, I'm gonna go to the next row.
I think the traditional situation works a lot better. I really do, because it's like but also it's the foundation from the beginning. Like, I met my girl when we were really young. Like, we graduated together. We went to the working field together. She, her father actually orchestrated my career for me, because when I graduated, I wasn't able to go. I was interning, but I wasn't able to actually get employment at the United Nations. So, her father made a few phone calls, and next thing you know, Monday morning, I'm sitting in the top office. So it's we kind of scratch each other's back. I think that's the best way it works, Suzette. It's like, you watch my back, I watch your back, and we're just gonna make it through we're gonna make it through the situations together. Because the truth about it is that even though the marriage thing is very scary, Suzette, like DL said, nobody should be spending any time alone for the rest of their lives. That just makes absolutely no sense. That makes no sense at all. There's no human being. People like to play hard, especially with us as black men. I'm good. I can do this by myself. I don't need nobody. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. And I've seen some of my uncles in the family too, and they sitting there, and the next thing you know, they were like, oh, you think your auntie gonna take me back? No. No. I've seen it before. Yeah, like I was hanging out with my uncle like a couple of years ago. He was just looking at me. He was like, you think your auntie gonna take me back? I was like, no, I don't think so. I think it's a done deal. I think you just keep on watching Sports Center. And
you can't do nothing.
Yeah, keep on watching sports. Keep watching Sports Center and drinking beer. This thing is not.
That's
coming
his life.
back, bro.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, man. So this thing, a lot of this hard behavior, this extra. Yeah, I can do it. No. I think marriage may be looking a little fringe in our community, but like I said before in the beginning, like we were saying, outside the community, it's still going on. When I was in college, everybody was getting married at like 22, 23. I'm the late bloomer in my group. Like, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, all my white friends, my Hispanic friends, they'd be like, hey, James, when are you getting married? And I'm like, hey, okay, I'll let you guys know. Calm down. Like, everybody's married. What about you?
But look at that culture. Look at that culture.
Yeah.
Just being in that group, that network. Your network matters. Who you talk to matters. That they're placing that in your. My mom used to say that. I had a good best friend in high school, and my mom was like, if you had stayed best friends with Olga, you would have been married. And I was like, ouch. Thank you very much. That hurts a lot. But her point was, when you're around people that think like that, you move like that, right? I'm still me. But if you're in a kind of like an incubator and you're being conditioned with no, this is what makes life worth living. And this is what the next step is. And the friends around you were doing it. You're obviously, I mean, that happens to men all the time. One dude in the crew get married. What happened? Everybody start getting married.
Everybody, yeah.
That happens to my brother's
Everybody gets married.
You look up and now all of them are like on their first child. It's like they're all following the same stage together. It's very interesting.
True.
Hey, I tell you what, Suzette, Doug's comment in the chat, if you put that up, I think he nailed it right there. That's I think that's the answer to the problem.
Let me see. Doug.
Yeah, he's right about that. Equal
Oh,
treatment.
this right here.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
saw it. I
equal
had put
treatment.
it up.
Yeah,
But
I
I
leave
had
that up.
took it down when he said test the paternity at birth.
But still, though, I mean, that's the
The only
answer right
thing is,
there.
a lot of people taking care of people, kids, they don't know. But Scott, we had to put this in the law to ensure that children would in fact be presumed the husband's children.
Right. And on Saturday, this will come up on Saturday, but that's the one thing that men worry about. Back in the day, they wanted versions. Why? Because the only way you can ensure paternity, right? Because you're talking lineage and you're talking about all this other stuff. If we put this in the law, right? If this was
Paternity
the law,
test?
if this were the law of the land, right? Women really would be concerned with what they're doing out there because it's like, yo, I'm with this. I got the best guy, right? I don't want to mess this up.
Y'all want to destroy society with y'all.
How's that destroying society? Why do I have to take
Y'all
care
know what
of?
y'all be doing in the streets with the people that be married. I'm not saying you, DL.
You can say DL, you can say me. It's a fair statement. It is a fair statement. But here's the thing: who controls sex? I don't want to use that word. Who controls access to intimacy, right? And who controls access to relationships?
Yeah.
Right? That's how it works. Women control access to intimacy, and if you gonna let me in, guess who coming in? You know what I'm saying? All right, bet. Thank you. But I'm not going to turn around and let you in. Like, why would I do a relationship with you? You don't even know my first name. You were saying last name. You don't even know my first name. And we've been doing all kind of bad things up in here. And you want me to marry you? And I can't make you get a pregnancy test? Come on. I think, hey, Doug, bro, I think you nailed it, man.
Doug,
right
you
there.
trying to
That's
destroy
it.
society, bro. We gotta have the presumption of paternity, dog. We gotta.
Oh, we got tests for that because now we can prove paternity, and that's always since the dawn of time. That's the reason. If you're gonna be a traditional relationship, let's keep it 100. I was trying to dance around it. I didn't want to throw it out there. But if you want to be a traditional woman, you have to be a virgin. All right. If we're going to go there, we have to go there. If you are a traditional woman, you are a virgin. You know no men.
What about the born again virgin?
You are a virgin. And if you're not a virgin, you're not.
Jesus, watch the
Right. I'm just saying. And think about it. That's why I mentioned what I said. Don't judge me.
Hold on. So you gotta be a virgin too? You have to be a virgin too?
I can't have a baby. We know, you know what I mean? We know it's my child. We're trying to prove, right? We know it's my child. I can't have the baby. Right? That's all I'm saying. And that's why I put in there the don't judge me, take me as I am, no accountability movement.
Y'all trying to destroy society. Let me move on.
How about this? Society's already destroyed.
No,
Doug is trying to fix it.
I hope you guys aren't being sarcastic.
No, Doug, you the man.
The laws are written this way. Excuse me. Sorry. I didn't get to last call. Let me get last call opinion. Go ahead, last call. Do you want traditional roles in your household if you are married?
This is such a wonderful conversation. So thank you for hosting this, by the way.
Of course.
You had brought up a really good point in regards to the stats regarding married men make more money. I agree with that. The only problem is they're already off the market, so that doesn't qualify.
True.
Number two,
True.
I'm sorry, the honey barbecue.
Mr. J Bones.
Mr. J Bones, yes. You made an excellent point in regards to no one should live alone. However, I think when it comes to men, all a man needs is a purpose. But whatever that purpose he defines for himself is what he needs. So whatever that may be, I'm not saying for or against. We're coming in like a velvet hammer here. It's coming from a place of love.
No, it is.
But
it is.
I think all a man needs is a purpose. But whatever that purpose is, the man defines for himself. Now, going to the question at hand, I'm not married, but I would absolutely love to be married. Okay, let's just put that out here first off. When it comes to traditional marriage, I would say what I'm looking for is a little bit irregular. And this just comes from being let's just call myself a highly competitive man. If I'm going to spend all day competing out in the world, I think it would be more convenient. Well, convenience is such a terrible word. I think it would work better for me if I knew I had someone at home that could lead in the household. And while I'm saying lead in the household, I'm willing to delegate power, delegate the structure of our family to make it work. But the last thing I need is to be out slaying the dragon out in the real world and then have to come home and try to compete with someone else. I'm willing to delegate the power to whoever my future partner is and allow them to bear the responsibility if they're willing to take it. But the last thing I need is someone at home that I still have to compete with. That way I never get my rest, I never get my peace or anything like that. So it's just from a place of love. I know I came in strong like a velvet hammer.
It's
but
good.
I think for me, if I could find someone that could provide that for me, that's all I want.
I see the gentlemen on the panel who are visible shaking. I'm gonna give everybody a last word. Let me get in the comments. Let me just see real quick. What do y'all think? Wow. So peace is more important than anything. It sounds like, in your opinion, last call for insight, you think traditional gender roles are not necessary as long as you're not competing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'd agree to that statement.
So you're saying, I'd love for you to take on the home front. Just don't give me stress about what you make and what I'm making. Okay, I'm in it. I'm in it. The psyche is trying to just see what the men are thinking. This is great, guys, for ladies as well. Red Pill Hustle will be my special guest this Saturday. I'm going to give everybody a final thought about Is Marriage is Dead? But don't forget, Saturday, 12 noon, high noon, we'll be talking about whether men should join the Red Pill community. Did I say they should or should not? No. But my guest is Red Pill Hustle. So if a gentleman named Red Pill the Hustle is on your show, what you going to talk about? Red Pill. So that's how that came about. It wasn't something that I dreamt up. I'm grateful that he's coming on to school me on the Red Pill community. So I'm grateful for that. Saturday at 12. We're doing it for the more mature ladies. Rolling back the curtain on Sunday at 3 on menopause. I'm sorry, DL, do you have like an echo? Menopause.
I do, but it'll mess up everything, but I do have an echo. So I'm not gonna.
The mystery and the magic of menopause. That's what she picked it. My guest picked that. What she said, the menopause makeover. I said, oh Lord, I gotta listen in, learn from the ladies who are going through that phase. And again, it's just very interesting. I asked guests, just like I did with DL Saint, what do you want to talk about? And this is what he wanted to talk about. So I'm going strong this weekend, y'all. So Saturday at 12, should men join the Red Pill community? Sunday at 3, the myths and the magic of menopause. So I have a full weekend. I hope you guys will join on those conversations. And I'm going to give everybody, thank you so much, Kennarda. Good job. All right, staying in alignment. We trying to do that. Doug said he watched enough episodes of Paternity Court, and the men look so devastated. You ever see some of the Maury's when you are not the fathers? There's one that just came up on my phone because I think they're canceling Maury, where the guy was cheating on the lady, and then the lady's like, "You better hope the kids are yours," and he's like, "Oh," like he can't breathe, the kind of thing. Like it's so bad, and it's such a good television, and it's so bad at the same time. But Doug says, I watch enough episodes of Paternity Court to know the need for mandatory. We would have no marriages. The marriage rate would go down significantly. Oh my Jesus. I don't like to think of it like that, but that's very funny. All right. Yes, the architect adds. Doug Court was eye-opening for me too. I was shook it. So it sounds like some of y'all might be open to marrying. DL, you said you'd be open to marrying under the right circumstances overseas with a heck of a prenup.
I just don't want to marry the government. If I got to get a prenup, I'm not getting married. If I'm in a situation where I feel I need a prenup, I'm not getting married. Am I open to marriage? Absolutely. Do I want to marry the government? No, I don't. And am I willing to take a chance at this stage in my life? No. I don't, because it doesn't affect me. It affects my daughter. So I don't want to mess up her future, because I'm holding out for hope and following the fairy tale. But I think men and women are better together. I really do. Everything is messed up, but I gotta tell you, I agree with Doug. If the law of the land was what he said, I think the marriage rates would go up. I really do. I ain't gonna lie to you. That'll be my final thought on that.
All right. So checking for paternity. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't want that society. I don't know if you guys. We want this Judeo-Christian appearing society. I don't know if we really want reality. Final thoughts to this fabulous panel. Andrew, I'll go to you next. What are your final thoughts? Are you willing to take the plunge? Do you think there's a chance that marriage rates can improve? If so, how? Especially among the Black community. So are you willing to take the plunge? And do you think there's a way for marriage rates to improve? And how? Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Go ahead. Unmute. Don't worry.
Sorry. If they're able to have children, that makes a difference in the marriage for me personally. If they're not able to have children, I don't really see the point. You could do trust. You could do agreements to provide for them in the future. From that perspective,
and protect the assets. Yes,
right, that's the main thing. I have a child. I'm a single dad, so you know how that goes. And the way we work, other endeavors we have that we planned prior, that matters. I have a friend that went through that. His father got married in the 70s, and he died at 78 years old to a woman. Didn't have a trust or anything set up.
Oh, and she got everything.
So she was older than him too. She took everything, did not leave anything for his son or his grandchildren, and just left them, and then kicked them out the house.
I've heard stories like this. Yeah.
That kind of turns me off. As for the future, people have to learn how to function with other people. They have to learn how to go out and have fun with individuals, not just spending money. We have to learn to interact and do things together more. I think that plays on it. Establishing cohesive relationships with a purpose, and learning, I guess, playing a part in doing sex-specific roles sometimes, setting how to treat one another, serving things. That makes an important thing to relationships. That's the only way it's going to work, if you do a little bit of old school. You still have to have manners and etiquette. That is the main thing,
Goes a long way. Goes a long way. Just being nice to the person you live with. Imagine. Yeah. For both. So basic skill set says, Andrew, rich girl boss jumping in. Nice to see you. That's why I'm glad I figured out a high valued skill set. Now I make a lot in a few hours a week. So I have plenty of time to take my kids to school, clean the house, make dinner, and work out. Girl, you doing it. I'm talking about everything. Keeping it tight, keeping it right, making the dinners, keeping the kids in line. That's a lot. That's a full-time job in and of itself. So shout out to you, sis. Yeah. Final thoughts from Jay Bones, and then last call for insight. Go ahead, Jay Bones.
Yeah, as always, Suzette, thank you so much. Shout out to the brothers on the panel, DL, Andrew, in our last call. I think this was an excellent conversation. I myself, I guess, I've always been hit with the mature tag, even when I was growing up. I truly think that there's this thing going on, and I kind of find it kind of dangerous. A lot of the brothers, especially my age, and a lot of us in our 20s, I'm hearing this. A lot of them are really getting deep into this whole, no, I'm not getting married. It's borderline. All women are horrible. Women are just, they're just they're looking to do something to you, and they're all horrible human beings. And, women are this way when women are that way. And I'm like, hey, there's too much going on. There's a lot of poison, and people are jumping on YouTube and jumping on social media saying anything these days. But I've seen it before. Like I've truly seen it. Like, it's like when I was younger, I saw excellent, images of my father, my mom, my uncle. They lived right across the street. I get up in the morning looking at them. They run around. My uncle used to go in the backyard and cut flowers every single day for my aunt. So a lot of this stuff is just a bunch of BS. A lot of this stuff is a bunch of BS. This nonsense about love is dead, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. No, it's not. And matter of fact, I got to get out of here soon because I'm taking my fiance to the city for dinner. So thank you. Yes.
Take care of your business. Well,
Thank you so much, Suzette. Thank
Thank
you,
you, J
everyone.
Bones.
Yeah,
Fantastic
have a nice
insight.
day.
Always love having you. You can run, but thank you for being a part of tonight's panel. Appreciate you, brother.
Bye, guys.
I believe in marriage. Go,
Peace.
way to go. You picked
Peace out.
well. Good way to go. And then there was Mr. Laskell for insight. What's your final comment? Thank you so much, J Bones.
Thank you. I think the recommendation for trust is extremely wise. For those of you that don't know, trust has its own EIN number. So it's classified as a living entity, and whatever funds, capital, or whatever is distributed as per governed, it needs to be established by the court. And again, this is not legal advice, it's just
I'm not giving it to
educational.
you. Go ahead, last call. Take the wheel. I love it.
As far as marriage, I think things will eventually improve, but it's going to get worse before it gets better, unfortunately. I know that's kind of a bleak look, but I think in order to really understand the value of a, let's just say, significant other, or, man or woman, or whatever you define a relationship to be, I think it's probably going to get worse before it gets better, and it'll really take a reevaluation of what people value, as well as the determination and grit to work towards it.
So it'll get worse. Do you have a time frame on that? What do you think? Like this whole generation, maybe another 20 years it'll get better? Or like
I
how
think
soon?
I think for the current generation and the current ones, I'm saying anyone that's 18 to 30-ish range,
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll have to be close to, let's see if they get on 30. It's going to be the next two are going to be pretty bad.
All right. So it'll get worse before it gets better. And everybody, sounds like you're saying, has to define for themselves
Yes.
what they want, how they want to live, how they want their partner to be, etc. We can't really go by what everybody's telling you. You have to kind of just decide within yourself what it is you want to do and how you want to do it with the person that you choose to be with, sounds like.
Yes.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming up, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Enjoyed your insights, and you're welcome up anytime. Thank you
I
so
appreciate
much
it.
for coming up. Okay, thank you.
You the man. Last call. You the man. Great
Last
talking
call
to
for
you.
insights, coming through with some knowledge, some good nuggets there. Yes, I think we do have to define things for ourselves. I think we don't have to listen to all of the negative chatter constantly. I think it can ruin your ability to see the possibility of their the existence of something good. Now, we don't want to rose colored glasses it. We don't want to pretend that if it doesn't go well, all hell can break loose, I guess.
Probability, possibility. That's what we talked about.
Yeah.
Probability. Go spend all your money because it's possible you're gonna win that lotto ticket, right?
No, we can't. So y'all leave y'all's comments. If you're watching the replay, please. Is marriage dead? If so, what killed it? We didn't even get to really feminism in a sense, still. I know I have you way over time. We're gonna have to do a part 2 on this.
That'll be Saturday, right? When we get into the red pill stuff.
Okay. Well, yes, when
it,
when you guys come back on Saturday at 12 Eastern, we're going to talk with Red Pill Hustle on whether men should join the Red Pill community. I will be learning. I'm not telling you to. I'm not telling you not to. I have no business doing that. I'm going to be learning and asking the questions, right? About whether Red Pill philosophies serve men, serve women, serve the community, right? I can't wait. So y'all come back Saturday, 12 noon. Also Sunday, like I said, we're doing it for the more mature ladies. My guest, who is also a brunch sponsor, wanted to come through. I asked her what she wanted to talk about. She said she has had a makeover during her season of menopause, all the things that went on. I'm just glad she's talking about it, because that is like a taboo subject among women and among the larger society. So she's gonna be talking about the myths and the magic of menopause. I don't know. I almost like I gotta Google so I can ask some questions, but I think she's bringing 3 or 4 people with her. So we're gonna have a group discussion Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Y'all go subscribe to Mr. DL Saint. He has such wonderful revelations. I think just because of your life experience, you've had a lot of different experiences. You're a dad. You know, you, as you say, you are a military man. You've worked in all kinds of, you know, retired now, but, you know, worked in different arenas. And I think that's wonderful for a space like this with a man of your, you know, eclectic background to be here to
Ooh,
hold.
that's a good word. I ain't never been
Yeah,
called that before. I
you
like
have
that.
an eclectic background. So I love that. New voices, you know, deep voices can be, I think, very helpful in terms of even mentorship when it comes to this next generation. So we're not all hearing one thing. We can hear a variety of voices.
Yeah, but I would definitely challenge you, Suzette, between now and Saturday. Go back and look at Doug's statement. Don't pay so much attention to the paternity part,
Oh,
but
okay. Oh, sorry, sorry.
the fairness part, the
Fairness
equality
line.
part,
Mhm.
right? I think that's the key. You know, from speaking personally, I don't want to get married because of what could happen on the back end. I could lose so much. But if the law of the land were, well, you can only lose half of what y'all built together from the time that y'all got married until the time of your divorce. You can only lose half of that. Okay, bet. Let's give it a shot.
So laws need to change. So
Think about that.
no, you giving me, thank you, Jay Bones, for coming up. Thanks for showing some love. Appreciate your generosity. Thank you so much for the super chat. DL saying this is your channel, right? I was
Yep.
just reading your comment. I don't you okay and get married in some parts of the free world, free of the government. They was telling you government is in your life. This is America.
Right. It
But
was someone saying that no matter what, you get the government's got to sign off. And I'm like, well, there are some parts of the world where you're not tied to the government, but you're tied to the church. Right.
yeah,
So some parts of the world, not here, but there's some parts of the world where you're not tied to the government. But I mean, it is what it is. But if you make it equal, right, and if it doesn't work, you're not going to lose everything,
yeah.
right? I think more men, especially let's face it, women want to marry more successful men. Why not give it a shot? But if I'm going to lose everything, and it goes for women too, you know, more women making money.
Listen, when you pointed out the statistic about women who make more money, etc., I think it's very difficult for women who are of means as well. Like, who you gonna marry?
Yeah, if you worth
Like,
10 million, holler at me. I'll marry you right now.
he's not talking about me, y'all, but I'm just
Oh no,
saying.
anybody out there listening, ladies, if
No, that's
y'all
what I'm
worth
saying.
10
But
million,
imagine being a single woman over 40 worth 10 million. Who you gonna marry? So you got the bread, you got the bag, you know, you have the ability, you have this, you have that. You can relax now and be someone's wife, but who you gonna marry? You know, I think
yeah,
that's a very stressful place to be in as well, just as it would be for a man who's worth 10. You know what I'm
and,
saying? Like,
yeah, and she has other issues we'll talk about on Saturday because again, she's only looking at her loved one up, and it's not a lot of guys. And those
you know what?
guys,
That's what I'm saying. She's gonna have
yeah,
to marry most likely because those men are already married. The man that the last call for insight said.
yep,
The top prime candidates already off the market. So done with those. Those are off the market. Who are you really going to marry? It's a very deep question because a lot of successful women out here with some bread. And
yes,
you are also vulnerable, just like you're talking about. You're very
yes.
vulnerable. It's kind of
Somebody,
crazy out here.
yeah, because Uncle Saint waiting on you. Come on.
Or Brittany Renner, or
Uh,
what should I say?
Who,
What's a male version of Brittany?
there aren't
Boris
any.
Renner.
Yeah, there aren't any. But we're gonna be into all these topics on Saturday because it all ties together. But I'm telling you, it boils down to the fairness in the court system. Like I said in the beginning, feminism may be beating up on, marriage, but the family court system is like holding it down while feminism is beating them up. You got to free something up, and it changes your dating strategy. It changes your mating strategy. All right, if women ain't like, I know I can't get anything out of this man other than what we built together. Maybe that'll change the way that they, maneuver. Who knows? But we'll talk about it on Saturday.
Yeah, y'all come back Saturday at 12. Andre, I was trying to leave with your note. Marriage is live and well. Yeah. But I'm seeing so much more. The man's checking at that point for prefer a young version of her. Hello. Jeff Bezos, ex-wife, married a teacher. That's true. I think who else? Somebody married like a fireman or policeman. One of the country singers. I won't say it like I don't know if it's a man.
But if I'm not mistaken, Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos' ex-wife helped him start that company. I think she gave him the initial loan
But
to
she got
start
bread.
Amazon.
Old girl got her bread though.
And she deserved it. She actually, because you could argue there would have been no Amazon were it not for her initial loan, because she was an alpha woman. I believe she was corporate. She was making bread, But
Yes.
this just goes to show you, you know what I mean? Not all women are out there trying to chase. She probably made more than him. And then he went on to become Jeff Bezos.
And pushed him. Amen. Hello, the investment. Anyway, we could go on for some time, but I've enjoyed having my special guest, DL Saint, in the building. DL, hang out backstage. Thank you for being here tonight. Y'all, I hope you have enjoyed this conversation. If you did, please, please, please support this type of media. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. How can y'all support? Well, there are several ways. We have, of course, the likes. Likes help, shares help, making comments help. Get the video in the algorithm so more people see it. So if you can do so, please hit the like button. Of course, you can support financially. Here's the Cash App, $SuzetteSpeaks. And of course, each and every one of you who were able to contribute, no matter how big or so-called how small, it's all big to me. Thank you so much. And thank you again to my support group, my Patreon group. All of you who are a member of my Patreon community, thank you so much. I just lined up our April, I think it'll be April 11th speaker. We do exclusive shows over there that are personal development driven. I give some behind the scenes of things I'm doing. I have a brunch, a ladies empowerment brunch. If TLA is still watching, yes, the ladies will be hanging out. Sorry. That will be April 3rd. I'm going to be out and about April 2nd. So some of my behind the scenes will be available there as well. So check me out, patreon.com/SuzetteSpeaks. I enjoy. Thanks to all the gentlemen again. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Mr. XL, Lamont XL, of course. Jay Bones, of course, Last Call for Insight. Did I miss anybody? I hope not. All the gentlemen, thank you, because your opinions and how you view this, again, is a very, very important part of this equation as we try to figure out as a community how we get, things back together. That's the goal. I know it doesn't sound like it, but that's the goal. The marriage is the building block. Whiskey Earn says, great show. Thank you. DL representing. Thank you. Thank you, Sunbreeze. Appreciate that. Yes. Oh, the chef says, let's see what Rihanna and Rocky do. Snuggles, you just got here. Somebody dropped the link, girl. We over. Okay. Bye, y'all. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button on your way out. Y'all have a great evening, and I'll see you Saturday at 12. You take care, and then Sunday at 3. All right. Be well. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.